Up headlines.
Celtics are now 17-4 after scoring an easy 108-89 win over Miami at TD Garden last night. Jaylen Brown scored 29 points, and Joe Mazzulla saw Payton Pritchard add another 25 off the bench.
His teammates understanding that we need to have a different identity, we need to go to different stuff, and he takes a ton of pressure off the other guys, and so I think it's twofold, right? It's what he's done, and it's the team empowering him to do that because he's special.
The Celtics secured their 8th win in 9 games, despite the fact they were missing Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Sam Hauser for last night's game. They'll find out tonight if they secured a wild card spot in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. Their next game is tomorrow night at home against Detroit. As for the Bruins, they had last night off. They'll be back at work tonight at TD Garden against the Red Wings. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. In football news, the Patriots are off for their bye week. Denver played last night. They held off the Browns 41-32. Jameis Winston threw for 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes for Cleveland in the loss. Also, San Francisco has placed their top 2 running backs, Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, on injured reserve. McCaffrey could miss the rest of the season. And with the winter meeting set to begin in Dallas on Monday, the MLB Network reported yesterday top free agent Juan Soto is expected to decide on his new team in the next 10 days. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, now open in Franklin, Billerica, and Peabody. I'm John Wallach on Boston Hill for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Afraid hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Hottie. Loopity about with a football.
98.5 The Hub. Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
The new day. Kofi Kingston.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hi, Sarge.
It's all good, baby.
We are Toucher and Hardy.
Boom.
It's true, and we are in the Town Fair Tires Studios. You can call 617-779-0985. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, and do yourself a favor and get on the algorithm. You can go to 985thesportshub.com, or you go to YouTube, and then you can search 985 The Sports Hub, and then you subscribe, and then you get the algorithm because we're on there live, and then 24 hours a day. If you don't know what Adam and Hardy are playing, Sarge, who used to fill in around here as a update guy, and when he did anything that was on television, he would stare into the camera.
Yep.
He during COVID would host things via Zoom. Boy, people were COVID's so dumb. They would offices would do parties on Zoom.
Well said, though.
Yeah, it just might as well have a therapist in it too, just to talk everyone. And so Sarge would host these parties, and in the background he'd have all these fake wrestling belts. Now,
11-time WWE Tag Team Champions.
yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second. But the Hardy one time was emceeing a charity event that Sarge had no part in, and then when they came time to present the big novelty check, Sarge stood up and held the check for no reason.
No, that was here.
Everyone
No,
knows
no,
was at the radio
that was
station.
here where we raised a lot of money for the Jimmy Fund, and Sarge came in, wasn't even filling in. He just happened to be at the radio station, came down and made sure that people took his picture standing next to the check by himself.
He can dish it, but he can't take it.
No.
But what's interesting about that is that Hardy and I didn't even get in the picture because we didn't know what was going on at Pugs and Paddles. So we don't even get in the sweet picture with the
The
novelty
ones that
check.
we should be in.
The novelty check.
Oh.
But so if you didn't know, the Patriots have a lighthouse, which I did not remember. I've been to a game this year. I got there again. I got to the game that I went to about 45 minutes early because we went in the radio booth. My son, his friend, and my friend went into the radio booth and hung out for a while. I was sober, full attention the whole time. I did not know someone was ringing this lighthouse bell. Again, I don't know. I don't know why there's a lighthouse. I don't know why there's a bell in the lighthouse. I don't know what that has to do with being a Patriot. I don't know. They're not on the water. None of this makes any sense. It's stupid. They just shouldn't do anything. Or they should have an honorary guy put on the wig.
Fire the musket.
And fire the musket.
I agree with that. That's a good idea.
Or a guy on a horse ringing a thing like a bell, like, then they ring a bell like
this
Paul
year's
Revere.
horse rider is Kofi.
Yeah, exactly. So you're having a great, successful promotion, and it's starting a great tradition when this is really from Sunday's game against the Colts. Sarge is the in-house announcer for Gillette Stadium, and here's what he has.
And for the last 10 years, member of one of the most successful groups of all time, the 11-time WWE Tag Team Champions.
Do you think that Sarge, whoever was supposed, I'm being serious, do you think whoever was supposed to be there wasn't, they didn't show up, the guy that was supposed to do it, and Sarge just knew that this guy was there?
No, actually, they scheduled this ahead of time. I know this because they put it out on social media a couple of days beforehand.
Well, someone must have canceled at some point.
Maybe.
Is this guy from Boston?
I don't
Says
know.
he's a Patriots fan.
No, he went to Winchester High School in BC. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Local guy.
All right, because, he must have just been around. Is the reason I say that, not because he has a connection to the team. It's just that he must have been in town. There's no way this was the choice. There's no – if I'm the Patriots and I'm going into a season and I'm looking for celebrities to ring this bell and I'm looking to make this into something and I get to so it's just the beginning of December and I'm already down to Kofi von Kufenstein from – it's fake wrestling. I'm having a little bit of a second thoughts on doing this.
Most of these people have one sheets that the PA guy has to read. Sarge didn't need that.
No, Sarge is not feigning excitement.
He didn't need that.
No, he is
For this
not
guy.
feigning excitement.
Not a chance.
But no one in this. There's no way anyone in this building's heard of who this person is.
Jimmy Stewart had heard of him, and he was pissed when I talked to him yesterday. He said, yeah, Sarge forgot Intercontinental Champion, which, in my mind, was a huge faux pas.
That's like talking about Don Morocco and not mentioning the Intercontinental Championship. He used to fight.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He used to fight Ricky Steamboat for it on several occasions. They would be undercards, like in the $10,000 slam match.
Boom shakalaka.
Who could slam Big John Studd? He was a big stud. He had his way with the ladies, and he was big.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And heavy. And you couldn't lift him except they had one guy that did it for $10,000. It was a slam match.
Cowards.
And for the last 10 years, member of one of the most successful groups of all time, the 11-time WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day. Please welcome WWE superstar and Patriots fan, Kofi Kingston.
Listen to that crowd.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I told you that was a high school gym.
I'm sorry. Can you just spin it back? The way he leans on the end at
Why
the
is
end
this
of
not-
Kofi Kingston.
Whoops.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like just that's the funniest part to me.
All right.
Making the end pop.
Please welcome WWE superstar and Patriots fan, Kofi Kingston.
I mean, that's if I told you that was the beginning of a charity run at 5 a.m. at a high school. That sounds like, come on, that sounds like 4 people.
Well, that's because, Mike, they're so high up you can't hear the crowd.
Oh, no. I assure
They're
you.
way too high up, Fred. It's a very tall lighthouse.
It has to be that high up, you ignoramus, because otherwise boats from the Neponset Reservoir, which is the large body of water just southeast of Gillette Stadium, would not be able to see the lighthouse or hear the bell. And they might crash into... what's the name of this place? Crescent Island, right there in the middle of the Neponset Reservoir.
Do you so they created an island in the middle of a? Isn't a reservoir a fake body of water?
I think so. There's a huge one in Canton, which is like twice the size of Jamaica Pond, which might also be. Is Jamaica Pond natural? I don't think it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it is, but it doesn't matter. No, I think it's man-made, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need a lighthouse. It obviously does because they built that big son bitch. So you got to have a lighthouse, whether it's a man-made body of water or not.
What's it? 68,000 in Gillette.
Yes.
So 68,000 in Gillette. You can hear 68,000 people from high. That I can tell you.
Oh.
Like if you were at the marathon, and there was 40,000 people, and you were like on the deck of a apartment building that was like 10 floors in the air, I can assure you'd hear at least the mumbling of the crowd. You wouldn't just hear 3 voices. Boy, that's embarrassing. That's like throwing a party and no one showing up. Kofi tag team champion.
11 times.
Kofi Kingston.
No.
I love it.
Because Sarge was like, I've got a personal relationship with this guy. We were at Callahan last night. Let's just say that we closed the place down.
Huh.
Graduated from Boston College.
Oh, yeah. Majored in communications, that guy.
Oh, boy,
I'm not sure if he's actually Jamaican, though, so you know how he was born in Ghana, but whatever. We're not going to split hairs here.
Why? Because he's Cody Kingston, because he's supposed to be from Kingston, Jamaica?
Yes, it was a Jamaican-themed character.
Oh, he's faking Jamaican.
Oh, man.
Give me your best stuff.
Jamaica. Done. You're in. Welcome to the New England Independent Circuit.
What? What'd you say? Jamaican what? You selling? You have Jamaican urine?
What do you do? What you making?
What you making? Urine?
For the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We keep drinking that asparagus juice. We'll be fine.
What bothers me most about the bell is that it appears to be rolled out there on some kind of framework, and the whole thing looks like it's about to snap.
Wait, it's not there permanently?
I don't think it's a permanent installation.
Jeez. I thought it was always up there.
No, I think they roll it out there, and it's on this big steel frame, and when these guys, they really want to ring that bell, and it looks like they're going to snap the bell off or the frame's going to break. I don't know.
Sounds like a sound effect from like a Popeye cartoon from the 1930s. Like it's just so bad. It's so bad it's good. Do it again.
He eats me spinach and I'm going to punch Pluto.
I'll live.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny Wallach, how's D3 basketball?
Burn.
What? Yeah, that's a burn. Because he's doing the NFL. They're like Tony Collins can't show up.
So did you?
Let's.
How far did you have to dig to get Tony Collins?
Did you notice?
I was trying to think of anyone random, and Tony Collins came into my head.
But did you notice Sarge doing the PA at Gillette to go? Like, could you tell it was his voice?
I don't know. No, I couldn't, and I don't doubt that he was talking, and I was just not focused on that. That's not. But you would think that a big to-do, like the pregame, when who's the hockey team with the siren that the Bruins played in the playoffs? Is that Vegas that has the siren? Or Vegas has got something, but what's going on, right? Like they have it on TV and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's like a thing.
Yeah.
And there's another team that has a siren that they do. Maybe it's St. Louis or something that has a siren.
Columbus has cannons. I mean, every team at Montreal had the first on ice big display. Yes, every team is known for something.
Right. And so it's going on at least. But this, I was at the game and I was really paying attention. I was into it. I wasn't talking to my friend or anything. I was fully engaged in the game, and I had no idea any of this was going on. I had to have been in my seats when they were doing it, because when do they do it? Do they what 5 minutes before kickoff?
Yeah, it's part of the pregame.
There's no way I wasn't in my seats 5 minutes before kickoff. I was in my seats for the national anthem. There was no way I wasn't in my seats 5 minutes before kickoff. This wasn't that I got to the game late or I was in the parking lot. I was in my seat before the national anthem, and I had no idea any of this was going on. None. And I was completely focused on what was happening. And that's sad. But it's not sad so much as just it's unnecessary, I suppose. I don't know why they built a lighthouse. I don't know what that's supposed to do. But anyway, it's
Hurricanes have done it. Vegas has done it. You were right about that one, Fred.
Yeah.
Vegas is well known.
Canucks have done it.
What do the Canucks do?
No, and for some of them, it's just like a playoff thing. They'll just bring in the siren for that, and they'll have a celebrity cranker.
I just know they do it a lot in hockey. That they'll have a guy crank something in hockey. And Carolina is probably where I remember it from, because they had the guy that wanted to beat me up do it.
Oh,
they had gone that.
Really? They had Cal Bailey as a special guest.
Cal Bailey was the guy.
Huh.
Him, his wife, and a friend.
Right.
They were the ones that were doing it.
And they were having...
And Cal Bailey didn't do it. He just sat watching him do it. That's what he did. All right. Very good. I miss Sarge. I really do. He doesn't like doing the show. He doesn't like being reminded of this time in his life.
Yeah, he's out of radio entirely now, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he wants...
He's all done.
And I don't even know if
it's all good, baby. Apparently not. Apparently
he does a nice job on the PA. The biggest compliment I can pay him is sometimes I've heard him like, oh, who's the PA guy? They sound good. And I realize, oh, that's Sarge.
Mm-hmm.
Razzle dazzle.
He's the hostess with the mostest during training camp.
But everything, in fairness, everything that we made fun of was his own creation. Like, he invented Sarge. He invented
the Sarge salute of the day.
He invented "It's All Good, Baby." He invented all of that. Like, it wasn't us. All right. Well, Paul has an explanation as to why this was.
Sure. You guys better watch it for Chase Stu today. He's going to tell you the significance of Kofi being there and how it seems to be like a publicity thing for an angle that took place last night.
Oh, so he was weaved into the storyline of WWE?
It's been something teased that him and a partner were going to break up. They've been together for 10 years. They had a third guy legitimately had his neck broken in a match. He came back. The whole story was going to be one partner was going to turn on the one that had the broken neck, and Kofi was going to save him. And they twisted it, and they both turned on the guy with the broken neck.
Heel turn.
Heel turn.
Heel turn.
Kofi should have thrown him off the lighthouse.
Oh, that would have been good. Right through a big
Kofi's
table.
like a natural babyface, so nobody expected that last night.
Well, Paul, that sounds, well, thank you for the information. That sounds like quite a
brutality.
heel turn. I haven't seen something like that since the NWO.
Kaboom!
Hollywood Hogan.
Hollywood Hogan. You know how he was turning mean? He dyed part of his mustache black.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, the part by his mouth. He had a handlebar mustache. Not a handlebar, but
the
whatever the hell you call it.
Black
Yeah.
and the chin strap was blonde. That's right.
Yep.
I remember that.
He dyed part of his mustache black. I think it might have been the other way around, but I'm not sure.
No, I think you're right about that.
Yeah. No. It was his mustache, but I don't know if he dyed, dyed the part by his mouth black or the top black. I think it might have been by his mouth. Yeah. I don't know. I've been watching all these WWE things in hope of hearing things about Vince McMahon's sex life.
Yeah.
So I know quite a bit about and I loved wrestling when I was a kid. I just don't follow it anymore. All right. If they had Kamala the Ugandan Giant and his handler, out there to ring the bell. If they could teach somehow Uganda to ring the bell and not eat it. Or George the Animal Steele, for that matter, who was a high school football coach in about 30 miles outside of Detroit. All right, what's going on? What are we going to talk about? I'll tell you what, the Celtics were playing a parade of guys I didn't know last night, which shows you
how good Miami is.
Depth.
It also shows you how good Boston is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I kept waiting for something to happen. They had an awful lot of.
They were missing four of their top 8 guys.
Yeah, illness and injury last night.
They had a lot of white people.
How dare you? In the second night of back-to-backs, you don't think those guys were really sick?
I think Al Horford and Porzingis are in bubble wrap until the playoffs.
Wow.
So,
well, it shows you the importance of this Miami game, but nonetheless, and I thought of going. Yes, I'm really glad.
Miami didn't have Butler, and the Celtics didn't have a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, no, they were playing Drew Peterson.
Yep.
And then a dude with like one sleeve of tattoo.
The play-by-play guy?
Oh, yeah. No, he's little. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more.
Toucher and Hardy, and last night was a grudge match at the Garden. Drew Peterson facing his former team, the Miami Heat. There was expected bad blood between the two, but Spoelstra and Peterson worked it out before the game.
Yeah, they had a little chinwag about it. Now, John was trying to get me all amped up this morning about the NBA, the Emirates NBA Cup.
That's correct.
And what's going on. So last night, not a cup game.
No.
Okay, those are Tuesdays and Fridays.
The Celtics are done with cup games. They finished them on Friday with the win over Chicago. They now have to wait for tonight's results.
Oh!
That's what's going on.
So before we get into last night's game, what are we looking at tonight, John? What needs to happen? What's the magic number? What needs to pop?
Well, it's Milwaukee and Detroit. One team has to beat the other by 5 or more, and then there's Orlando and the Knicks. Now, what the Celtics are hoping for, I believe, is the Knicks to beat Orlando by 37 or more, or Orlando to beat the Knicks. It's all based on point differential. Very important. That's how the Celtics got into the quarterfinals.
And you asked me why I don't get excited about the Emirates NBA Cup.
And those are the two games to watch: Milwaukee and Detroit, Orlando and the Knicks.
No, I'm not going to watch.
Maybe if you broaden your horizons a little bit,
I'm not
going to watch the NBA for what it truly is.
I don't
which is fantastic.
And again, to reiterate, I don't dislike it. I am apathetic.
That's even worse.
So what is so Orlando? If they win, that's good for the Celtics.
Yeah, I believe it's Orlando has to beat the Knicks, or the Knicks have to beat Orlando by 37
for them to get in.
Yes,
but so the Knicks are in anyway.
Both Orlando and the Knicks are 3-0 going into their big matchup tonight. You see?
No, I know. But unsarcastically, so they're both 3-0. So why would the Knicks have to win by a lot?
Because this to help the Celtics out. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, those two teams
and
are
hand that other
Celtics
team a loss, so they would both have one loss.
Correct.
And
then it comes down to point differential.
Differential.
If the Celtics had blown Chicago out by more, it would be a little easier, but they didn't. So,
well, they obviously were running up the score yesterday with that collection of people that were on the floor. I'm so happy. It was almost like a God shot that I didn't go to that game yesterday.
Okay, you say there's nobody on the floor. The Tatum was out there last night.
Payton Pritchard coming off the two crazy big fourth quarters on the road trip. Cross court, Jason Tatum steps to his left, launches a three, switch. 17-2 is the Boston run. They lead by 8.
All right, so Jason Tatum was out there, and he mentioned somebody else who fed him that pass. Who was that?
Derek White into the corner. Pretty good look. Payton Pritchard for 3.
Wow. Why is Miami in the zone? I mean, you're talking about a team that shoots threes. That's all they want you to do is be in the zone. Stupid.
You know what would be a good idea for a coach in that situation? Call timeout.
You know it would be a good idea for a coach in that situation, stupid.
So your starters last night were Jason Tatum, Luke Cornett, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, who I didn't think was going to play last night. He was listed as an illness, non-COVID.
Yes.
And Jordan Walsh.
Yep.
There was an opportunity. I don't know if it was an opportunity for a full 5, but they could have had 5 white guys on the court at the same time. 3 of whom no one has ever heard of.
Right.
Let's do it. Cornette, Pritchard.
Yep.
This Shireman fella.
Yeah, their first-round draft pick, Peterson.
From Peterson, who is an undrafted free agent, grudge match.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be done?
No, I think
it could not be done. Was there a moment? Well, if Porzingis played,
if Porzingis played, yes,
then you could have had the. I wonder when I'm not being silly. I wonder when the last time that's happened in the NBA that there's been 5 white guys on the court for one team. Did you ever play like Tecmo Bowl and you would try to you would do last names or like different stuff and then so you just would field you ever wondered if you could field an all white team in Tecmo Bowl and you could only get one cornerback, Seahorn. That was the one guy that you could get, like Seahorn, the Giants.
You know what? I think he was the last one.
So
I think he was the last white
now were you
quarterback.
forced to do this in your house? The only way you were allowed to play video games is, hey.
Well, Cooper, the kid from Iowa.
The kid who just got drafted. But in between that guy and Seahorn, zero.
And by the way, if you think, like, oh, what are you talking about? The Cooper DeJean thing in the league with players, they're having a great time with it because they're like, I can't believe that this white kid is a cornerback. It's constant. I've heard, the million podcasts, like clips from it. It's actually kind of funny. But that's my point is that there was a lot of people playing last night for an awful long time in a blowout. And before it was even, like in the third quarter, and they continued to expand their lead. It's a little. The Celtics are very, very good.
Yeah, they're a deep team. I find it interesting that you were forced in your home, Fred, to, even in video games, only embrace the white athletes, and that was forced upon you by your parents.
That wasn't forced upon me. Don't be unfair to my parents. No. That was
all you.
No, I was getting picked on at school, so I needed something to hang my hat on.
I see.
So I started to I said, what can I celebrate about myself that I have nothing to do with, that requires no effort on my part?
What will give me power?
Yeah, what will give me power? And I have nothing. Will have nothing to do with it. I don't have to do anything, and then I go, oh, this my skin color will do that. Yeah. That's what my superpower will be. Is my skin color.
How does Joe Mazzulla get these guys ready who are not used to playing? Yeah, spoiler alert, he doesn't.
If you give a guy an idea if he's going to or not going to, it changes his preparation on a daily basis. So I want our guys to come into the arena every day thinking that their process is important towards winning, and they have to be ready to go, and they got to treat every single day, every single game as if they're going to impact winning. And by not telling them, it allows them to just treat every single day as if it's the most important day, and they do a great job of embracing that.
Yeah, Peterson played in the Cavaliers game, and he thought that he was saying Drew Holiday instead of Drew Peterson. Like, he just assumed that he wasn't talking about him.
Right.
So, but, this kid, do you know where, did he go to, he went to USC.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's this, he didn't get drafted, but it's not like he's this nobody, but it is funny.
Well, honestly, he never averaged more than 15 points a game at USC. The fact that he is actually playing significant minutes for this team is somewhat of an upset.
And he played, no, it's a huge upset. And I'm not talking about that I expected him to be playing, but also he played in Sioux City and stuff. Like, it's pretty interesting. Never give up. He had a two-way deal with Miami where he never got up. But it is, if you look at the roster of the Celtics, it has the salaries of the players.
Yeah.
And Drew Peterson apparently not getting paid.
Two-way player. He's barely getting anything.
Him and Antoine
Watson.
Anton Watson are two guys that are not being paid.
Yeah, Watson was the team's second-round pick this past summer. So, yeah, Peterson is a guy who was averaging 20 points a game in the G League earlier this season. And so they like his ability to score. He's in there to score and
Fred,
not play defense.
Please show some respect. Not Sioux City, Sioux Falls. The Sioux Falls Skyforce.
The Skyforce. How is Luke Cornett only making $2 million?
Well, it's the haves and the have-nots on this roster. You have about 5 guys making $25 or $30 million a year or more, and then the rest of the roster is not making anything.
$2 million. I want to win this tournament. Like, if I'm making $2 million, I really want to win this tournament.
They interviewed Cornette specifically last year when they made the quarterfinals as a wild card, and Cornette's like, this paycheck could go a long way for me. But I think you have to, you have to make at least the semifinals to make something significant.
Yeah, because, wow, I've never really taken the time to look. You're right. The haves and the have-nots.
Is it a $500,000 a player? Is that what they get?
If they win.
Yeah, so you're getting an eighth of your salary. I mean,
I think it's like $250,000 if you get to the finals.
Your salary. Jesus, am I stupid? A quarter of your salary.
I think it's $250,000 if you make the finals and $100,000 if you make the quarterfinals.
I mean, holy moly, that's Maddie money.
Either way, yeah, that's real money just for making it into the quarters.
Yeah, $500,000 bonus.
Yeah, there are about 7 guys on this roster that would love for this team to make the quarterfinals.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, because it really is top heavy. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah,
that's got to be weird. If someone's making $50 million
Yeah,
and you're making 2.
Yeah, Tatum's extension kicks in next year. I mean, you're looking at his number now. Just wait till next year.
And yeah, I wonder if they have to because if someone's making $50 million like Jaylen Brown and I'm making 2, like $2 million is a lot of money, but it's also you're not making it your whole life. So you're, conceivably, this is $2 million for 10 years is $10 million, and then taxes and agents and everything. Who knows? I mean, that's enough to live on for the rest of your life, but not to have a lavish lights out. You'd have to budget your money and everything.
Yeah, you're not
like
living
that.
in a big house. You're not driving a Maserati.
Yeah. You could. I mean, you could own a house here. You could do things like that. But I wonder the expectation of them to pay for you. There's that the Jaylen Brown would give you things. I wonder if there's an expectation at that point because he has such liquidity. There's no the money is of no object to him at any point. Right, he could drop thousands of dollars and not worry about it.
Every basic necessity of your life could be taken care of by him, and he wouldn't even notice the difference. In his
Absolutely, it's like change to him.
Yeah. By the way, Payton Pritchard with another buzzer beater of sorts last night.
Payton Pritchard, 5 seconds to go. Pritchard against Larson. Pritchard right hand dribble coming strong. Pump fake, steps through, scoops, and scores off the window. It wasn't a conventional NBA Finals buzzer beater from Payton Pritchard. But again, Payton Pritchard's shot goes in the air. When the buzzer goes off, you know you're at TD Garden.
All right, so, Fred, we talked about Payton Pritchard a couple of days ago, and he's leading the league in bench scoring by far. There's no one close to him. And last night, with Jaylen Brown on the floor, he and everyone else got out of the way so Pritchard could ISO on a guy, go one-on-one, and score at the end of a quarter. This is how much of a heater he's been on the last 6 weeks. I mean, who knows if he can complete this? Who knows? The season is long. Who knows if he's going to be playing this way? But right now, he is the best bench player in the league. Right now, Payton Pritchard.
You would rather have him than any other bench person in the league.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he's playing better than anybody else.
Right. You're saying he's on a heater.
Yes.
Steve, go ahead.
Hi. Just curious about Tatum's missed layups. Nobody talks about it. I just wonder if it's like the team doesn't want to bum him out. I don't hear the press talk about it, but he missed 5 against the Cavaliers.
At the end of the game, Donovan Mitchell was scoring and Jason Tatum wasn't. I think Jason Tatum was pretty good. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Why is he missing these layups, Jonathan?
Well, I don't know if this is bulletin board material, but he thought he got fouled on a bunch of them. He hardly ever complains. So,
did he put his palms
the hands
in the
go
air?
in the air? Oh, yeah.
No, did he put his palms up and his elbows at his side in like a...
Or did he kind of go, shucks, and kind of like, put the arms akimbo for a moment, and then, you get him down. I can't believe I didn't get that call.
It was more A than B. A than B.
If you're an actor and you said, okay, act like you're upset about something, and they put their elbows to their sides and put their palms in the air and shook their hands, you would go, all right, get them out of here. Like, they fail the audition.
It's like Kramer when he decides to go nonverbal. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Right. Yes.
All right. Listen, we'll be back. So it was an exciting game. You saw these nobodies play. I'm sure you got your money's worth if you were at the Garden. But listen, this is a team that is one win away from going to the quarterfinals by another team. They need some things to happen.
They need help tonight, yes.
Yeah, to get into this quarterfinal situation.
37-point differential.
That's
no. Only, but if Orlando,
right?
But they're just there's winning and losing and everything else that needs to happen tonight.
Yes.
All right. Look, we will be back in just a moment. So much more happened last evening. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Is this Cake?
No, this is a band called the American Analog Set.
Yeah, I was thinking you weren't going to play Cake.
Yeah, I mean, I can if you want me to, but I didn't think you would want me to play Cake.
The guy from Cake, we did actually a good segment at 99X in Atlanta when I did nights. There was a segment, I forget what it was called, because we ran out of bands right away. But when bands came in, they would pick 2 songs they wanted to play, and they would record why they wanted to play those songs. And the dude from Cake wanted the White Stripes before anyone had heard of the White Stripes.
Oh, so like one of the first albums there.
Yeah, and he was like explaining how they were brother and sister, and you're pretty good looking for a girl.
Yeah.
Here's the song you wanted to play.
Okay. It's a good song.
Yeah.
They kept that ruse going for a while, didn't
yeah.
they? The brother-sister thing.
Yeah, but they were having sex.
Yes, they were a wedded couple.
They were having sex.
They were having maritals.
Yeah, I was telling Hardy that I'm telling Hardy how I switched insurance yesterday. And saved myself some money, and then I told him how I stopped going to therapy, so that I'm making up this private school money, baby. You get I'm making up. I got this lump sum payment in my divorce coming up. I gotta make it up.
Scrape some nickels together.
That's right.
You gotta quit completely, or just cut back a little bit
On what?
on the therapy.
I completely stopped the therapy.
It's good he's cured. How many times
I'm
a
cured.
week were you going?
I'm stern 5. No, I was going once a week.
Okay, I don't know.
But it's out of pocket. It was like $400 out of pocket. They don't. No therapist takes insurance. Really.
Yeah, I go out of pocket too, but once a month. I mean, maybe once a month.
I don't have problems telling people my problems. I figured that a therapy was.
Oh, so you're just going to use us now? Okay.
Yeah,
we're free.
But I wasn't being analyzed. No one's ever analyzed me. He just sat. I liked him, but he just sat there. Like I really would start thinking like I'm paying you $10 a minute, and I think it was $10 a minute, and like I'm sitting there $10 a minute, and like I'm just relaying things that I would tell anyone to you.
Sure.
Like there's no secret that I'm holding.
And what would he say? That's interesting.
Yeah, like kind of nothing. Like they would just eat. Like the tactic I've seen from a lot of therapists, most therapists, is to say really nothing, and just kind of get you in order to pull things out of you. But once you know that's the tactic, like we had a boss that did that. He had obviously gone to like some class or something that told them like to like leave long pauses because then people want to fill the pauses. But like once you feel that. Unless you don't have any social cue thing happening, like if someone stops talking, you figure out pretty quick that you're just going to stop talking too.
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and just, I don't have a problem just sitting there.
That's talk-based therapy. There's different types of therapy.
No,
too.
I know. Well, I don't know why you're so keen on me going to therapy.
Because it's working for you.
Because you're
I'm doing. Well, I still go to the one that
we don't need you back in the booby hatch. That's
right.
why.
Puzzle Factory.
This is not the one that supplies the medicine. The one I still go to the person that supplies the medicine. That's once a month.
Right.
But I don't really talk about any of my problems or any of my thoughts there.
They just got to make sure you're still eligible to get the happy pills.
Yeah. Oh boy. And what a ride! I'll tell you, Adam. You haven't lived until you've taken. I mean, the high I'm getting.
I've not done it myself. But
I keep decreasing them because I want my vibrancy back.
Sure.
So I keep decreasing them, and they're not so keen on that.
No.
But then they let me, and then we hold tight and see if anything goes haywire, and then when it doesn't, then we ease into that. So they take something away.
Slow ride, take it easy.
And then we all sit and wait for something bad to happen. And if nothing bad happens, we go, okay.
Instead of all this therapy and these pills, why don't you go out for an ice cream cone with a buddy, and just have a few licks between the two of you and just
sit
talk
on
it
the
out.
park bench out front. Enjoy yourself.
There you go.
I mean, that was part of the thing with my therapy is I would be like, I don't know anyone well enough to get ice cream with.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, we all need an ice cream buddy.
Hey, John, you like ice cream?
Oh, I love ice cream.
I like ice cream.
Me too.
Well, now
You
this
got
just
3.
seems like charity to me.
Now you got.
This is something I have to work through.
Well, you never asked any of us. How
I
would
didn't
you
say,
know?
and I didn't say I was buying the ice cream. It's not charity.
All right.
We'll go Dutch.
Okay, very good. We can go to the movies together.
All right, and not talk.
Yeah, we can do a bunch of date stuff together. I wouldn't even get ice cream with a date.
Why not?
I guess if I was on vacation in some locale, but I wouldn't go hey, let's go out and get some ice
It's
cream.
a very sensual food, Fred.
Well,
with the licking.
With John Henry, I mean, everyone remembers John Henry and his beautiful young wife when they were in
On the
Boston
continent.
Magazine. No, they were traipsing through whatever part of Boston.
North End. Yeah.
North End, both.
Oh, I
having
thought
an
they
ice
were. I
cream.
thought that was during their European honeymoon.
What do you think? Boston Magazine flew out to Europe?
No, but I
Take a picture.
think photos can be transmitted across the Atlantic.
No, I think that these were taken specifically for Boston
It's
Magazine.
a neighborhood stroll.
Well,
Is what it was.
The best part about it was the fact that photo was hanging up in the studio
when he came in.
when he
that's
showed
true.
up unannounced to
That's
crash
right.
Felger and Maz's show.
That's right.
I
And,
never found that relationship to be strange. I never did. I swear to God. I'm not joking. I never found that to be weird.
Because
she was
she's-
there wasn't the age difference and everything didn't seem odd to me. Like John Henry's like a billionaire. Like I think that never seemed particularly odd to me. Like a May-December relationship isn't weird to me. You know the one that's weird to me.
Yeah,
Is the Belichick one. But John Henry's to prove how I don't have any issue with it. John Henry's never seemed weird to me. It just seemed funny that he was having ice cream. Like, this is what humans do.
There's a 30-year age difference, and when they got married, 10 years ago, let's call it.
I think it's more.
All
I
right,
think it's more like 15.
15 years ago. So he was 60 and she was
Okay. Oh, I got
30.
it. Okay, so if you went
Yeah.
to like a if you went to like a TED Talk when you were like 30 years old, and there was a 60-year-old woman who was attracted like a thin,
Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell. Well, I just saw Andy McDowell in a movie, and
Oh, you
she's
don't
let
like
every-
she's not dyeing her hair,
No,
so
she's
you
not.
are OUT on
Well, that's why she was
AGR.
That's why the move she was in the movie I saw. It was some straight to Netflix piece of garbage. I watched
They
with my
couldn't
daughter.
afford a hair dye. It's a very small budget on those films.
She was the only actress, I think, that had a credit before this, and this was no art film. It was called Sweetness, and it was a real piece of diarrhea.
I'm going to put it in
Nice.
my queue right now.
In fact, she had diarrhea in the movie. That was and
must have been a problem.
She had to use her hair.
Yeah.
I forgot even what we were talking about. You got me going on Andy. Oh, I never thought that relationship was odd. So, say you were at like a talk, and the head of the person that invented say someone that invented some $1 billion idea and had sold it off, and there were this person they were talking. You couldn't find yourself being attracted to that person, and then if they showed interest in you, they're a billionaire. And they're flying you off on private jets and everything like that, getting caught up in that whole life.
Yeah, right to the point where she reportedly was begging her friends to go with them on their honeymoon cruise around the Mediterranean. At that point, I started thinking, you know what? Maybe she's not all that
It's not
passionately
really
in
into
love
me.
with him.
Yeah.
I needed someone to hold my thing.
Well, it wasn't him that was asking.
Could you play G? Well, I have my staff.
John Henry walking into that reception area. I want to go on Felger and Maz. And Lee Dickman behind the counter. Yeah, well, you know what, sir? A lot of people want to go on Felger
That's how
and
it
Maz.
sounded?
You just can't walk into the studio. He said, I don't think you understand. I'm John Henry. And I'm Lee Dickman. And you are not going in that studio,
He
sir.
was the guardian at the gate, wasn't he?
And
He really was great.
running down the hall. Wait, don't turn him away. Oh, man.
Oh, feet don't fail me now.
So how'd you get him downstairs?
I guess Radzik.
No,
yes.
I was
How
asking
did
Rick
you,
Radzik.
Rick Radzik, usher John Henry down into the studio?
All right, now listen. I know you showed up and you fell into my lap, but we're going to have to take an elevator or go down the stairs. This is deciding time, Rick. Now, this is a man of wealth. It's only 2 flights down, but maybe he's used to elevators. I don't know.
I hope he's not claustrophobic.
What if but maybe he expects an elevator. He probably has one in his house on account he's rich. Oh, befuddlement, how you have come upon me. There's stairs and an elevator. Oh, screw it, just leave. I'll tell them you came. Guys, funny story. You know how you're bitching all the time about the Red Sox? Well, the owner was here. He was going to yell at you, but I was put upon a quandary, and I thought it best to step out of the way. Again, that is, of course, Gary Dell'Abate impression.
I'm so happy. He
doesn't like it. And I hope
Rick does not like
Rick does not like that.
I know that.
And neither does anyone who ever listened to Howard Stern and heard the most famous imitation of all time. But I will tell you this, Rick, blame them. Blame them because they're the ones who started.
Blame John.
Really?
Wallach is the one
that
forces you into it.
Yeah,
but that is funny.
That was the bet before you came on the air this morning. The discussion was, you know what? I try and get Fred to do the voice because I love it so much, but you're on to all the ways that I come at it.
Yeah.
So anytime that Hardy is able to poke you, I'm going to pile on.
So anyway, just real quick, and then we got to go. But so Lee Dickman, so John Henry comes. Famously, John Henry came to the station one time to talk to Felger and Maz. It kind of put his show, Felger and Maz's show, on the map. It was really good fortune for them. And Lee Dickman, who was the guy that was at the front desk, didn't know who John Henry was. That's all. I miss front desk people because the time when I first came to WBCN and I was getting served papers by Steve Barnes, who sued me for defamation, and it ruined his career. He came and they went to serve me papers, and the girl that was at the front desk was like, "Get out of here!" And
Jess.
Jess, and I didn't even know her, and she's like, "Yeah, someone's over here trying to get some legal guys trying to give you stuff. Don't worry, I won't let them through." And they were getting pissed. It took them days to serve me the papers. It was actually she was a guardian at the gate.
She was the best.
She was the best. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment. Speaking of Belichick and his weird relationship that is gross. We will but I'm on Jordan's side in that. We will be back in just a moment. He's got something to say about someone currently in the NFL.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Celtics are missing 4 rotation players last night, but the best bench player in the NBA said no problem. He took over.
Tatum, bounce pass, Pritchard runs to the corner, 3 in the air, got it. Pritch, please.
I was wondering when you're going to get that in.
Well, Al seemed to be doing it on the bench the other night.
That is Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Payton Pritchard, 25 points to help push the Celtics to a 108-89 win over Miami at TD Garden. Jaylen Brown added a game-high 29 points on a night when Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Sam Hauser were all out. The Heat were without Jimmy Butler for this one. Celtics play Detroit at TD Garden tomorrow night. The Bruins use the building to play Detroit tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Bruins just beat this team in Detroit 2-1 on the Saturday before Thanksgiving. On Monday Night Football, Denver beat Cleveland 41-32. The Browns have also released quarterback Bailey Zappi, and San Francisco is now expected to be without Christian McCaffrey for the next 6 weeks. He hurt his knee Sunday night in Buffalo. He and backup running back Jordan Mason have both been placed on injured reserve by the 49ers. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. Injured and can't work? Turn to Catches Law, the official law firm of the New England Patriots, to tackle your needs. With local attorneys who live and serve here in New England, let Catches fight for you. Go to CatchesLaw.com to book your free consultation. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Some people play the game.
Jaylen Brown. Blocked by Horford.
Some talk about
Let's welcome to the Sports Hub Celtics show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtics show with Murray and Gasper, Saturdays at noon on the Sports Hub. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallace?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And we also can be seen on YouTube. Certainly go to YouTube and search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and you can watch us live and get in and chat and have a whole time of it. And you can also, of course, watch us at any point during the day. And you can go back and watch things from like 2 weeks ago. It's really magical. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe and get on the algorithm. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is as someone who watches, just watches the games, but it watches at least pieces of most games, is the worst quarterback in the NFL. I don't think there is a doubt in my mind about it. And off the top of my head, I can't think of someone who's worse. And you can't say Anthony Richardson because the Colts and Anthony Richardson specifically beat Aaron Rodgers and the Jets 2 weeks ago.
We only found one quarterback that you tacitly kind of agreed that was on Rodgers' level. He's not a quarterback now. He's hurt now. And that was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun wasn't starting anyway. Even if he wasn't hurt, Winston was going to start. And Winston's better than Rodgers, by the way, even despite his performance last night. And because Rodgers, has Rodgers thrown for 300 yards this season? I don't believe he has.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he has, and that is not a Jets problem. He is Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. And by the way, the Jets' record was better with Zach Wilson as the quarterback than it is with Aaron Rodgers. He's terrible. But, of course, you can insult the Jets owner because you know you're never going to get the job there. But if you're Bill Belichick and you are making the rounds on media, and now no one, of course, would tune in to hear Bill Belichick speak. He exists to be clipped. I don't even know if I don't like Pat McAfee show. Obviously, it's corny and dumb. But does he still do Pat McAfee weekly? Like, I don't hear anything about this. I know.
I don't hear anything about
that's
him
the
on
thing.
McAfee anymore.
That's the thing. More to your point, I only know he's on McAfee when he's clipped, and I have not seen him at all.
But I'm not so stupid as to think that I'm the only one that, like, no one likes McAfee. And so, like, whatever. Like, he has his charms, and there's people that like him. Certainly, I think they're corny, but whatever. That I get. The Let's Go podcast with Jim Gray is, I would contend, something that no one listens to unless they have to grab audio because they want to hear someone talk. Like they heard a statement was made through something. Like the Let's Go podcast people put it out there that something was said. There's no way that someone can listen to that. It's on at 6:00 at night. It's on, if you have satellite radio, I apologize for this. It's on about 17, all the sports channels at the same time. And it's just immediately like, oh my God, this is like, I can't believe this is on. It's Max Crosby, Jim Gray, the guy that used to be the receiver for the Cardinals,
Larry Fitzgerald.
I think Larry Fitzgerald of all people. Like, who cares?
Who is just electric as far as personality.
Let's
goes.
go. Hey, we're back, everybody. Here we go.
It shows the three most vanilla guys on the planet.
I mean, just really. I mean, Max Crosby is a great player, but I mean, you don't tune in to hear Max Crosby. He's got. Well, maybe you do. I can't say I've listened. I just, the minute I see here it's on, you can hear it. Like, you can hear the pace of it, like just that slow, like right when it comes on, you know something's wrong. Like you put it on, and even if a guy's like a crappy host, there's a certain rhythm and pace to it.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, that's him. Like, yeah, let's go. Here we go.
Ho, ho, ho.
I mean, Jim Gray is bad. So anyway, I don't even know what this is from, but anyway, Bill. Who cares? But Bill Belichick was on something, one of the 100 things he does. And Aaron Rodgers, who I've never heard anyone get their ass kissed this much. I heard a guy last night, JT the Brick, and he's like, you know, Rodgers loves when people talk about him, and this is a mystery who he's going to play for next year. He's not saying, and the reason he's not saying is because it's not the Jets, and it's not. If your team picks up Aaron Rodgers, you're insane. It's not like he's going to sit quietly and be a backup. He's going to cause problems. He completely shanghaied that organization, and he sucks. Leonard Williams in the Seattle Seahawks team was talking about how he doesn't want to get hit anymore, and then a friend of Aaron Rodgers anonymously reached out to the press and said, yes, he doesn't want to get hit anymore. So that's why. So now it kind of makes sense because he doesn't scramble. And when he's about to get, like, if there's pressure on him, as there is on every pass play in the NFL, he immediately just cowers and goes down. And that's why he won't scramble, because he's afraid he's going to get blindsided. And if you're afraid to get hit, I mean, you've seen your quarterback this year stand in the pocket and take hits throwing downfield. I have not seen Aaron Rodgers do that.
I will say this, in the Patriots, just to add a Patriots slant to this, remember the last time the Patriots played the Jets and beat them, Devon Godchaux was adamant. He doesn't look the same. He can't run away. He can't get away from us. He's I'm paraphrasing, but he's old.
Yeah,
very, very old.
You cannot play in the NFL anymore unless you're Tom Brady's super genius. Like, you can't play unless you can evade the rush for a moment. If as soon as there's penetration, you're going to get hit, there's no way you can play in the NFL. There's no offensive line that can keep you clean for that long on pass plays unless you're getting rid. And dude, he doesn't throw the ball over 10 yards downfield. He just doesn't.
You know who he reminds me of? And I know we'll get to the audio here. He reminds me of Peyton Manning at the end, where Manning couldn't throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field in the last season he was in the league. He had gone through fusion surgery. I mean, something Rodgers hasn't done. But there comes a time when a quarterback's arm is shot, and this appears to be Rodgers.
I don't think his arm is shot. I think he doesn't want to get hurt, and he can't move. And then if you see Drake May and you see Josh Allen and you see all these guys, you know, once a free rusher gets in or a rusher gets in, which is going to happen. That's just the way the league is now. you got to be able to extend the play.
And Payton knew that he couldn't do it anymore. It's probably hurting Rodgers because he thinks he can still do it. He thinks he can still make those throws.
I don't think Peyton Manning was afraid of getting hit. That I don't think. Peyton Manning at the end was winning football games, and
he was managing the game beautifully. Rodgers isn't doing that.
No, Rodgers is god awful. He's terrible. In his last games, he has thrown for 185, 184, 151, 211, and 233. There you go. Big time. Average of 4.7, 6.3, 4.3, 6.6, and 8.3 a pass.
But there are people out there who like him, Fred.
Right. So Bill Belichick is analyzing something other. I don't know if this is with Matt Patricia or who this is with.
I believe it's Let's Go.
Yeah, it is. It's
Let's go. Hey, we're back, everybody. Here we go.
Right,
I heard a bit of this yesterday, as did John.
You heard it live.
I don't know when I don't know when it airs the first time. I heard it.
You said 6 o'clock. I'm like, really?
You sat down listening to Let's Go on the radio in your car?
I was in the car, and Mad Dog is one of my presets, and I flipped over to it, and this was on. So at some point yesterday evening, one of the 1,000 trips I was making around town.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. We're back on the air. We got Coach Belichick.
We're back on the air. Let's go, everybody. We're back on the air. Hey, let's go, everybody. I'm excited. They told me to be more excited. Let's go. You like the fanfare? Just
it's great.
Two old schlubs.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. We're back on the air. We got Coach Belichick, the greatest coach in NFL history. He's won 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach. Let's go. Presented by Delta Airlines. At Delta, every route, every yard, every takeoff is an opportunity for greatness. Unlock your potential when you keep climbing. Visit delta.com to book today. Delta did a great job getting me all over the place. Got everybody home safely last night. Coach, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, wow. Good. You didn't die.
Thank God.
Congratulations.
That plane, it flew, it landed, and no one died. He got us all home safely.
Yeah. I mean, he's incorporating it into his own life.
Yeah.
In Jim Gray's travels, he will get on a plane, and he flies one of the large companies.
It was great, Jim.
It was great, Jim. Me and the missus, we sat down. We talked about K-pop. We made, she dressed me up in some costumes and put me on the Insta faces. Ha ha. Remember when I used to say that? Well, now I got a lady dressing me up and putting me on it. I'll do whatever she says, Jim. You know how, Jim, you're famous and you might have sex with a younger woman and then leave? Me, I stick around and do whatever they say. I'm a real cuck. Or I'm sorry, simp. I'm misusing the term cuck.
It was great, Jim. It was great. Very relaxing.
Yeah, my family. It was relaxing as my family completely ignored me as they didn't want to be around this relationship where this woman is dressing me up. And Jim, she dressed me as a turkey. And we did the WKRP scene where they threw me out of a helicopter.
A little sore, but I'm ready to go.
I took my shirt off and walked around.
Dressed me up as a turkey. Everyone else dressed up as John Adams and the Pilgrims. We had a hunt.
She put an apple in my mouth and buttered me. I'll tell you what, Jim, as I took off my shirt and I walked outside and was all confused and walked around until someone released the ring tape. And that was on the internet. Jim, as an old rich guy, you might not know this, but we can have sex with younger women. I'm the one who sticks around and does whatever they say. You know how most would leave and go, thank you for the sex. That was delightful. That was a fun time. And now I'll be on my way. Me, I stick around and take her to things like the Patriots reunion. The Tom Brady.
And a corn maze.
And a corn maze. Yeah, that's right. Superstar.
A lot of good football this weekend. So college, pro, he could easily
Did you hear that?
pro.
Yeah.
They're moving. So that just tells you this is pre-edited.
That's it. That's the producer passing out from boredom.
Yeah.
30 seconds in.
I flew home safe. Yeah, well, I watch football. A lot of good stuff. They play in college and the pros.
He could easily rebound from.
Okay, this is
Aaron Rodgers.
He could easily rebound from that and be ready to play and have a good year next year. And
there's medicines that can help with that. It's not every time this is going to happen. You're sitting there.
It's quite common.
It's quite common. So just he can rebound from this. There's no reason that the relationship should end. There's ways that I can inject myself and I'll be all set.
He could easily rebound from that and be ready to play and have a good year next year. And you look at all the quarterbacks in the league that are kind of on their second teams, and they're doing pretty well. Russell Wilson and Geno Smith and Darnold.
Yeah, they're right around the same age. Darnold's 29 and Aaron Rodgers is 41. It's a great way to put that together. I want you coaching my team, old man. You really seem to have your finger on the pulse of the league. They're second teams. Yeah, that's the issue. It's the issue is that it's his second team, you understand. There's a lot of guys having second acts. When you're 41, it's time for, just like when you're 73, it's time for your second act. You scour all the local small colleges and you find yourself a young lady who's got an interest in philosophy and you settle down.
Baker Mayfield, you go right down the line. Stafford, for that matter, Jared Goff. These guys have switched teams. They get in a different system. So things are a little bit different for them. Maybe they learn some things from, whatever it was their previous experiences were. It changes. So when a guy has a long career and a good career, sometimes one season is just a bump in the road. It's not necessarily the end of the road.
Right. Exactly. That's good stuff. That's good analysis.
It's ironic that Bill would be sticking up for an older guy and thinking that, maybe he's got something left in the tank. In a way, it makes sense because same could be said about him. Older guy, still got left to do, except for the fact that he tried to push Tom Brady out the door for the last 10 years he was in New England.
Just Brady. How many players did he get rid of unceremoniously a year before they expired?
Brady.
Brady especially at the end, but he spent his entire Patriots career, his entire GM existence in this organization, getting rid of players before it was their time.
But he can't change his mind. It's like the goalposts have moved. The game has changed. It's like on Felger they'll talk about being like take committed and how they won't change. It's like it's okay to say now that Aaron Rodgers is not the greatest thing ever. Have you watched him play? You watch all this football. Have you watched him?
Okay, guy who struggled with his old team, was getting older, needs a new shot, can change things. That sounds a lot like what he's trying to do.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But what Bill Belichick's trying to do. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah.
So it makes sense for him to support that, except it goes against everything he's done in his career up to this point, like getting rid of Tom Brady. Or as Wallach said, getting rid of guys a year too soon as opposed to a year too late. So there are two exceptions to that rule, himself and Aaron Rodgers.
And the guys that you're mentioning are 10 years or 15 years younger than him.
Right.
Like Baker Mayfield was in college when my son was in middle school, and my son's a sophomore. Let's be honest. These are not young. These are not old men. But listen, just because it happens one time doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. He'll go to the doctor and figure it out. Maybe you could spice things up a little bit. Maybe you put on the costume this time. It's just not going to work if you dress me as a clown again. I feel very self-conscious, and I think it's affecting our lovemaking. All right, very good. We'll be back. Ryan Johnston will join us in just a moment.
You're listening to Touch.
had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Mentioned earlier, Pasternak playing in his 700th career game. Gets one that he's been waiting for, and they get another one. As Coyle with a backhand beats Primo, and it's suddenly 3-0.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and that was the sound of 3 quick goals in succession. Maybe the first time that's happened for the Bruins this season.
70 seconds, 3 goals.
I happened to be watching the game at that point, and it was interesting to see the puck go in the net for the Bruins that many times.
Didn't stop there either. Got 6 that day.
I like how the light comes on only when we have guests, because that's the only thing Nick intends to use as a video.
Why are the lights on when there's nobody else in studio?
Yeah, I know. Like when
nobody
we're
here
riffing and like doing comedy, why is there no lights on in studio?
Careful, because now he's going to have it on the whole time.
And also, you're going to inspire Ryan to be really, really funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
I'll tell you, because if you don't know, Nick makes these videos. They're very good. He makes them for Instagram. And I love the videos, but he'll put the lights on sometimes, the TV lights, to make it a better video, the video look better. But he puts them on. I guess I get when Andrew Callahan's in because it's a guest, but he puts them on whenever we have a guest as if he's already decided what he's going to make the video of before it starts. What if something funny happens on the off chance something funny happens?
These videos are for YouTube. I isolate them and post them online on our channel.
I see.
Just interviews?
Yeah. But then I do something different for Instagram.
Yeah, I know, but if you are only experiencing our show through the interviews, that's not the best representation of the show. If I only know the show from clipped interviews on YouTube,
Instagram,
you get it that you can't just, if you're going to make standalone YouTube videos, they shouldn't just be of interviews.
Right. I was told, I can talk to you off the air about it.
You were told what?
Yeah, I was told to stay with more sports on the YouTube channel because of something that happened a couple of months ago.
Oh, in case someone gets offended by something we said?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
That's the boss, hard at work.
He wasn't told this in studio. He was told this
in our room.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. We got it. We heard about it from someone now. Don't put anything up.
Saying
only boring stuff. Keep it sports.
No.
Is Ryan on the phone?
I didn't know I was going to be getting all this information.
Okay. I think he's on Zoom.
Ryan's been here
Okay,
before.
all right.
Ryan's been on this show more times than you, Hardy.
It's a good point. There was one particular year he filled in for like 100 shows.
It was 100 shows.
Yeah.
So Ryan, believe me, Ryan knows his way around this show. Ryan Johnston is now the voice of the Boston Bruins, and he's doing a fantastic job on 98.5 The Sports Hub. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hello, Ryan.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Hey.
You sound like...
In fairness to Nick, what are the odds anything noteworthy happens in the other 3 hours and 50 minutes of the show outside this interview?
It's just a little insulting. Like, it's just... You know how it is, Ryan. Like, management just finds a way to insult you. This business is pretty funny because it's all... Ever since I've been in it, the industry is a disaster, everyone says. And then... You can't do better than you're doing, but yet you're still doing bad. Like, that's what is funny to me. Is like right now, to be honest with you, if I ever was going to enjoy my career, this would be the time. Like, this is the time where I've achieved it. Like, even if I crash and burn today, like, I have what I needed to do in my career. Like, I'm at the apex. And that's very disturbing to me because if this is the apex, it's not very good.
And it can only go down from here.
But it's disturbing to me that you will allow yourself to get insulted by the fact that Nick turned lights on.
Well, no, but there was a reason to be insulted, and it was my intuition that the lights were going on at these particular times that led to the discovery that I was being insulted.
Yeah.
Have some pride in your work.
I don't take it as an insult. He knows he's going to post this for something
It's
that's
not an insult to Nick. It's not an insult from Nick. It's an insult from management.
I understand that, but the other stuff can get posted too. It's just
No, Nick was told not to post
no,
it.
not to post it automatically.
Nick, are you told to, you were told to only put sports stuff up? Nod yes or no. Nick's using
Pretty
his
much stick to sports, he says. And he would also like you to know that he realizes you guys don't like having the lights on. That part goes into the decision as well, that you prefer to have them
That's
off.
not the issue. The lights aren't the issue. But Nick's involvement in this is long past. It's the directive from management. If you, Hardy, to be honest with you, can't understand how that's insulting, that's a shame.
I just don't get that worked up by it.
Well, I'm fit to be tied. I just found out about it, and it's insulting. And if you don't find it insulting, I don't know what you would find insulting.
I'm happy to carry
your content
YouTube
sucks
channel today.
And yeah, you're carrying the YouTube channel. Now let's get to hockey. I mean, if you don't find that insulting, I honestly don't understand what you would find insulting.
Oh, I can name any number of things.
All right. Well, you let me know, because that's pretty stupid. All right. So Ryan, do you notice a change in the team since the coaching change? Obviously, they've had more success. The defensive metrics are better. What are you seeing from this Bruins team?
Yeah, I think it all comes from the defense. I think, we heard as Jim Montgomery exited and Joe Sacco took over, we heard from the players, they took it on themselves, put it on their shoulders and said, we need to be better. I think the wake-up call was well received in the room, and we've seen especially in those first few games, kind of a recommitment to things defensively, and everything sprung out from there. You go back to those first 3 games in particular, they just weren't giving up chances. All the shots were coming in from the outside edges of the offensive zone. It wasn't you weren't getting those high danger chances in front of the goaltenders, and they started showing success right away. Now, the offense took a little bit longer to start generating, but they scored 6 goals against the Islanders. And then after, struggling against Pittsburgh, they come back with 6 goals again against Montreal on Sunday. So it's a definite different feeling around the team, in that it feels like everybody's confidence is up here over the last couple of weeks. And, and maybe that's all this team needed, was kind of that added boost of having the ability to string a few good games together and realize that, they're better than they had shown over the first 20.
Is there anything like X's and O's wise that they're doing different in terms of defensively? Because, yeah, they have played better, but is there anything that Sacco has decided, no, we got to be doing this, this, and this? Because a lot of the problems before, Ryan, seem from a lot of guys standing around doing a lot of puck watching, which doesn't seem to be an X's and O's issue.
Right. And I think, one of the things that Joe Sacco told us when he first took over, and we've been kind of repeating the quote back here over the past couple of weeks, is we got to protect the guts of the ice. There were so many of the goals that they were giving up over the first 20 games were coming from right in front of the net, guys who were left wide open. And so it, I can't speak that much to the X's and O's of it, but I can tell you that those chances have dried up for the opposition. They're not taking nearly as many penalties. That obviously was a big problem early on in the season, because their power play their penalty kill wasn't playing well, and they were giving up 6, 7, 8 power plays a game. Now I think it's 3 times in the last 14 or 15 games that they've taken more than 3 penalties. They've given up more than 3 power plays to the opposition. So, those are the types of things that I think they got back to, that we've become accustomed to seeing here over the years. The Bruins have always been a team that's kind of built from the defense out. And I think, Joe Sacco, more than anything, has reminded them that you got to protect the house first, and then we'll get going the other direction as quickly as we can.
So much is on Charlie McAvoy's plate now, especially without Hampus Lindholm out there. It seems to me that the defense got better as soon as he started playing better. Am I wrong in this?
Well, I mean, he's your top defenseman. So, how he goes, the rest of the group tends to go. I would say, Charlie was not playing up to the level, as neither was a lot of guys, right? I mean, I think Don Sweeney put it at, somewhere around upwards of 10 guys who he felt like were underperforming. And, Beersy and I said, I think that number's a little bit higher than that, honestly. And I think Charlie McAvoy would be the first person to tell you that, he wasn't playing up to his capabilities. We're starting to see the guy that we've become accustomed to know here, both defensively, and then on Sunday he breaks out offensively. And you hope that he can continue to carry that, because if they can get some more points out of the back end, and in particular from him while Hampus is out, that's going to help this team immensely.
All right. Did you hear any rumblings about Montgomery now that he's gone? Did you hear anything about it beforehand? Did you, as traveling with the team, did you get a vibe or hear anything that something was on the way?
No, I didn't. And we were in St. Louis not long before the change happened, and he has a history there, and we all knew that, and he talked about having been able to see a bunch of friends and family while they were back there, and had a nice night out. But while it was clear he had an affection for the organization, I wasn't anticipating anything at that point. When he became available, it seems like St. Louis, certainly jumped at the opportunity very quickly. But, we didn't expect, given that they had just signed Drew Bannister to a contract over the offseason, we didn't expect that they would be willing to make a change that fast. So if anything, I thought he might wind up in Pittsburgh if Mike Sullivan ended up getting fired there, and which he has not as of this point. But that's kind of where my head was for Monty. I didn't think it would take him long to get a job. I didn't know that it would happen within a week because there weren't any other jobs open. But I was surprised that St. Louis made that move. But it was clear that they wanted him from the very beginning, and he just wasn't available to them. But I never saw anything from him that would indicate that he was trying to get fired or anything like that. I've heard those conspiracy theories. And I didn't see anything out of the Bruins locker room that they anticipated that he was going to get fired. I think the players were really shaken up by his departure. So it just, St. Louis saw an opportunity and jumped on it.
So Fred's question was the one that I got, Fred, and I'm sure other people talked to you because they expect us to have some kind of inside knowledge about this. And we did talk to Montgomery not long ago. Like, all right, what's the real story? What's really going on there? And I said, not a whole lot more than what we've heard, other than the only thing that I could kind of guess at, Ryan, and maybe you have some sense of this, is that if maybe you thought that Montgomery was getting along okay with Neely and Sweeney, maybe that relationship had deteriorated a lot more than any of the three of them had let on.
Well, ultimately, I think what it came down to likely was, and Ty Anderson's done some reporting on this about the, where the money was and the years. Listen, after the last two seasons that the Bruins had, there was going to be no doubt that if and when Jim Montgomery became a free agent, that he wasn't going to be out of work for long. And, when you're in that kind of demand, and you expect that you're going to be able to draw top dollar, and you expect that you're going to be able to draw a long-term contract, and that's what he did. As far as his relationship with Sweeney and Neely, I believe Don Sweeney, when he said, they were working toward an extension or were trying to get there, it seems like the two sides were kind of far apart on the dollars-wise. And I can see the Bruins side of that because, ultimately the regular seasons the last 2 years had been great, but you didn't get to where you wanted to be when you got to the postseason. And that's where, to me, if you're going to be a head coach and you're going to be one of the higher paid head coaches in the league, that's where you earn your money.
All right,
and
Ryan.
So,
okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so ultimately I think that's, maybe what it came down to. And then just the way the team performed over the first 20 games wasn't good enough. And they felt they had to make a move before it was too late.
All right, Ryan. Well, you're doing a fantastic job. Ryan Johnston, the voice now of the Bruins, after working very hard at it and putting in his dues for many, many years. It's a story of sticking to your goals. It's a beautiful story, Ryan. And what's another beautiful story is we've realized, again, all the meetings that happen that I'm unaware of involving me and ways to corral me. That's very interesting.
Someone once told me that you don't want to be in those meetings, Fred. You should stay out of it.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I see what you're doing.
Great.
See, we made it.
How creative was
nearly
that?
2 hours into the show,
You
and
were
it
there
wasn't.
that day.
It wasn't
Good
even
for
Fred.
you, Ryan.
That was one of my 100 days. Yes,
That was one of your
I
100
was
days.
there
Yeah,
that
that was. You got to look at the beast in the eye. All right, very good. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, he was there that day. Hachi Machi. That's when I sent the text. That's when I sent the text. And then that was it.
Yeah.
Is when I sent the text and I said, "Here's everything that's gone on in our career that I have never told you about." All right, very good. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
I'm telling you, this is Steve Vai, and you're just not telling him.
I would never. Prince.
I love. I used to play that. I used to have Steve Vai flexible, baby. That was
wow. Impressive.
Yeah. We are Toucher and Hardy, and we have Andrew Callahan coming in. A lot of debate about the Patriots and the way they played on Sunday and the way they lost that game. We'll ask his macro thoughts on the matter.
Yeah.
All right. This might take a little bit longer than what we have, but now everyone knows that social mores are opening, and there are new ways to experience love like never before. And as a society, we're getting very European with things, as you can watch porno on European television at night, just on regular TV. There is some kind of swinging situation.
It is. It is a festival that is returning to Great Britain in 2025. It is called Swingathon, and it will take place for 4 days in the middle of July. I don't know how I feel about that. It can be a little steamy there in certain parts of the UK. 18 through 21 July. So I'm reading it to you as it would be said.
Sure, not July 18th.
No,
but
18
July, right.
18
I got it.
July through the 21st. Brought in a record number of people last year, and this year they are expecting well over 1,000 people that bought tickets to the 4th edition, £265 to attend Swingathon. And we have an introductory video here from one of the exhibitors, I guess, Fred, at Swingathon, speaking with a reporter about what's going on.
You know, every day could be Swingathon for a woman. I mean, you could just go to a hotel at any point and just, say to every guy that you'd have sex with them, and 90% of them are going to say yes. This seems to really be an advantage for the man, Swingathon. It seems unnecessary for the woman, but here is the thing.
We make sure that we speak to young people.
Oh, the teeth on this woman. It can't be good.
We make sure we speak to people.
That's my molar.
We make sure that we speak to young people and try and catch.
Get them some pieces of bread.
Oh, call Coach McCarty.
Yeah.
You swing, do you?
Yeah. With liverwurst and salami. I stack it on. Yeah.
We make sure that we speak to young people and try and catch them if they before they actually start doing, bad practices.
I believe that's called grooming. Is what's going on there.
Yeah, it's very important in the swinging community to stop the bad
young.
swinging before it starts. We meet with middle school students, and we'll get involved with the health program and teach healthful swinging. What really is there to teach anymore about sexual health? It seems that a lot of these things have cured their way out of society. It doesn't seem the danger that existed in like 1991. When did I first have sex? I was 15. 1990, say, was when I first had sex. The dangers that existed at that point don't seem to exist the same. The same fear doesn't surround it.
No.
That's true.
Anything that might hurt themselves. There's a lot of people watching hardcore pornography and they think, oh, I can do it. But no, those people are professionals. So we try and help and educate them. I'm a bit like a mother hen.
Why is this woman an expert?
That's why I only watch amateur, because I don't want to overstress myself with what the professionals are doing.
Why is she certified in some way, shape, or form to be an expert?
We all know that the professionals in the pornography. Yeah, they're very professional, and
Let's see what you got, homeboy.
Yeah, they speak in a very professional manner.
You want to know the what is needed from a professional male porn star, which is the only real trick of the whole thing, is the ability to get an erection in a room full of people.
What?
I mean, that's TT Boy, and that's the kind of guy that can do it.
Stay humble.
Like the only performer in a porno is the male, and because the male has got to perform the trick, which is getting aroused and reaching completion while being directed and started and stopped, and be able to achieve and maintain an erection in a room full of people, sometimes with multiple same-sex people
there aren't many...
in the room while you are not interested in that sex.
There aren't many woodsmen out there either. It takes practice.
Well, I mean, think of the glory days of 90s porn. I mean, you had a TT boy, you had a Peter North,
Right.
you had the Clown Prince guy of porno.
Right.
I mean, there was like 5 guys doing
right.
porno. Buck Henry, who's sadly killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
John Doe, who killed himself. I mean, listen, it's a hard road. No pun intended.
TT boy out.
If you don't know, TT Boy has an interview series, which I suggest watching on YouTube. I really do. In the beginning, he has a pickaxe and he's striking gold, and he hits a mound of gold, and it says striking gold, and I don't still know what that means.
Like a bird, migrant.
So I actually really care about them because they come in, they see things on TikTok, and like, have you even tried a little vibrator? Have you even tried a little bullet? And they're like, no. First thing I want is this, and I'm like, how about we just start small?
Oh my!
Start small. We can always gradually build, you know. But yeah, that's kind of like our ethos. We care about the customer because
it's Giving Wednesday, right? Or Giving Tuesday?
Giving Tuesday, yes.
Yes.
Do these people teaching youngsters about the vibrators and the sizes of them, do they have some kind of...
I don't believe they're a not-for-profit organization.
Yeah. They don't have a .org?
I don't believe
Not
so.
that one
Not
.org?
.xxx.
Yeah, start small.
Yeah. I don't know how many women you have to talk out of. Like, it's your own body. All right. This seems like a fool's errand what this woman's advocating for.
we've been here for 25 years. If we didn't care about the customer, we wouldn't be here because it's the customers that actually give us this job. It's the customers that keep scandals going. Without them, you know, we'd be like...
Did she say sandals?
Scrambles?
Because sandals has been known to...
really?
That's what I'm saying.
Like many other stores, you know, that fall by the wayside, which is just sadly what's happened in this economy. But
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, British lady, but it's a bunch of jumbly jump.
And you're thinking of hedonism. That's the real swapping situation.
Yeah, not sandals. I apologize.
Hedonism.
Sandals is just like the carnival
We know
cruises.
somebody used to go to hedonism twice a year.
I
Two
know.
times.
I know another guy that used to go to hedonism without a woman, and was used as a bit of a boy toy by
So let's
couples.
see what you got, homeboy.
No, not TT boy. I wish I was friends with TT.
So at this one in Britain, there has to be an equal mix of genders.
Good luck. So there's 4 people there.
So they want couples, but if they're going to have that many, guys showing up, they say usually 3 couples per single male. So it's you're never going to have more women than men, but they try and keep it in check.
And why would you want to be the guy unless you're bisexual? Like there's why would you want to be the guy? Why would you want to have sex with a woman, A, who's married, and B, whose partner wants to be in the room? That doesn't seem like a good thing. But in all seriousness, my thing with swinging is that I know relationships that I know a bunch of relationships that you can't just dip your toe in the waters of swinging. You got to go cannonball into it and just go, this is going to be our lifestyle forever.
That's right. Once you do it, there's no undoing it and going back.
I had
That's
one
true.
friend who half-assed it with his wife, and they ended up getting divorced. And then I told you this is a common thing in these neighborhoods where they get incestuous relationships I the neighbors, and then the boundaries of what's allowed, and the door is open. My door is open for you. My door is open for you. I just found out about another one of these, and people start experimenting with each other's partners. Then one pair of partners falls in love, and then there's a divorce. Believe me, if you want I've never done it, but my advice to you, from my experience of secondhand knowledge, third-hand knowledge, if you're gonna swing, be absolutely positive that's how you want to live the rest of your life, because there ain't no getting out of it. You can't go halfway in. All right, we'll be back.
Life's too short.
Yeah, and then she also had this to say.
We'd be like many other stores, that fall by the wayside, which is just sadly...
Yeah, that's what you got to do. All right, Andrew Callahan, we'll see if he swings and who he does it with. I don't even know if he's married. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, it's TT boy out.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports.
fell behind 7-0 last night, ripped off a 17-2 run, and never trailed after that in a 108-89 home win over Miami at TD Garden. Jaylen Brown led all scores with 29 points, and that was a night where the Green were missing Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Sam Hauser. Payton Pritchard added 25 off the bench for the Green as well.
I was playing every off day anyway, so any moment I had a chance to play and I was ready to play. So if he said I was playing that day, then I was super excited to play. But it wasn't like I wasn't playing on non-game days and preparing myself for the moment. I've been preparing myself for this moment for a long time.
They'll play Detroit, the Celtics will, at the Garden tomorrow night. The Bruins play Detroit in that building this evening. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Bruins are 4-2 since Joe Sacco became the team's interim head coach. In NFL news, the Patriots don't play again until a week from Sunday in Arizona. Last night, Denver beat Cleveland 41-32. Broncos now 8-5. The Browns, before last night's game, waived quarterback Bailey Zappi. San Francisco is now expected to be without Christian McCaffrey for at least 6 weeks. He hurt his knee Sunday night in Buffalo, and the MLB Network is reporting that top free agent Juan Soto is expected to decide on his next team sometime near the end of next week. The winter meetings begin in Dallas on Monday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. This Monday and Tuesday, it's Cyber Monday double bonus. For every $25 gift card purchase, you get 2 $5 bonus cards. Offer valid online only at 99restaurants.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Coming up on the bye week is going to be a huge week for us. A much needed bye week, not only physically for the players, but also mentally, being able to hit the reset button and come back and put some good games together and continue to build for the future. And that has to be our goal.
Oh, you almost hit the post there. We are Toucher and Hardy. Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Andrew Callahan is the Patriots or a Patriots reporter and columnist for the Boston Herald. He joins us in studio this morning. Andrew, hello, sir.
Good morning, guys. Happy bye week.
It is bye week, and it's very exciting. Do you have travel plans?
Only to see my new niece in New Hampshire.
Oh,
that's about it.
congratulations.
You know what's funny? And I appreciate the congratulations. Seriously. This is the first time having a niece or nephew. I'm now an uncle, obviously. Is people act like I had something to do with this. Like, I appreciate it, but I just want to...
Your family is growing, Andrew.
I just want to ship it to my
I
sister and her boyfriend.
No, it's nothing that you did. It's just congratulations on your growing and loving family, and this is
It's a time to be celebrated.
Or
It
maybe
is.
you kept an eye on when your sister was ovulating. I mean, you could have helped out in that sense.
Can shoot down those rumors immediately.
So you didn't get the app and misuse it like my ex-wife did? She couldn't figure it out for like 6 months. And I was like, why is nothing happening? And then she realized that she had screwed up the app.
I see.
It wasn't telling her the correct time.
Well, lucky you. You just got to do a whole bunch of...
Yeah. A little practicing for the event.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had only been together for 7 years, so it was a real adventure.
A lot of dress rehearsal.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I mean, after the 10th time, it's all up. It's all downhill from there.
No, but sincerely, thank you. It's baby's happy, healthy, so I appreciate it. It just struck me. I'd never heard that before. I was like, I'm sure I've said that to other people. Oh, you're a new grandpa, grandma, uncle.
No, I had no inclination to say congratulations. I really didn't. It didn't seem like anything. You're just like, I'm going to see your niece, and you're like, okay. That seems more like an obligation.
It's just one of the things that we do. Yeah. No, I'm excited to meet her.
I know.
Only child again.
I think
we'll
it
never
comes up every
experience
week.
the joy of being the cool uncle.
No, I won't. That's very sad. But no, I would imagine being an uncle. Yeah. Well, how old's the kid?
10 days.
Oh, all right. So you're getting up there quickly. All right. Have you gotten sick of her sending you pictures yet?
No, not at all.
Okay, because that will happen.
We'll get there.
How do you feel about babies? Are you a person likes to hold babies or anything like that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then there's
I get a good long stare from most babies. This could be at the mall. It could be babies of friends. We'll find out with my new niece. I don't know if it's the glasses, just the way I look. It's always they're locked in. Crying stops, just locked in on my face.
I am not a fan of babies. I was not a huge fan of the baby, either one. People say that, like, oh, you know, they're babies, da-da-da. Until they can show some kind of signs of knowing who you are or knowing what's going on, they're really not that enjoyable.
No, I got no use for them until they're about 12 years old. That's
well, they get better when they get in my experience with my children. I like them a lot better when they get older. Like there's
once they can really throw a frisbee.
Well, that's true. I mean, my son is transferring to schools tomorrow. Ultimate Frisbee.
Oh, congratulations!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big Ultimate Frisbee guy. Yeah,
Wow.
he's got a thing. He's already got his short shorts out for the spring.
God, Hardy's going to be a friend of his for life now.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
throw the disc. back
Well,
and
I'll see him during the summer camps when they bring me in as a consultant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't do like the whole camp. I do like, you know, one day.
This is a real blue blood
specialized.
program, though. Like I don't know, the summer camps are all, believe me, they're run by the head honchos, the Krzyzewski of the Frisbee
the disc world. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All
Artie,
right.
Did you play hacky sack in college?
Oh, sure.
You look like you played hacky
I
sack.
hacked a few sacks.
Yeah,
Sure.
you look like you kicked a few sacks around.
Yeah.
It's a foot bag.
Glad I
Hacky
got-
sack is a brand name.
Oh, so like
Dumbass.
Kleenex and tissue. Thank you.
Well, same with Frisbee. You don't say Frisbee.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm trying to dumb it down.
What do you
for
say?
Andrew. It's a disc.
You see, that's why I
Disc
said
is
disc.
too general. No way.
No, it's
Disc
my
used to play music.
son held an interest in Ultimate Frisbee for about 2 weeks in there, and then
Ultimate disc.
I think you say Ultimate Frisbee or just Ultimate, and then you say when describing the Frisbee, it's a disc. There are two different things. But Hardy was very particular. That do you have the right disc? So I had to send him a picture, and he goes, "Okay, that's good. That's the disc you should be throwing."
Yeah,
that's the very
It's
important.
made by Discraft. It's the UltraStar 175-gram Ultimate Sport.
It has to be a certain weight. Has to be a weight, and
Yeah.
I made sure to take a picture of the box it came in, or the disc itself, to make sure that I got the approval from Hardy. And Hardy's like, "Oh, you know what? I'll come over. We'll throw the disc around in the backyard, the whole thing." And then 2 weeks later, my son moved on to something else. Crestfallen that he couldn't.
Well,
That's tough.
You got to love the game. I can't teach the passion, and that's the first thing I tell those kids when I show up at the camps. The passion is the one thing I can't teach you, but the fact that you're here, that tells me a lot. Now, let's see some forehands. Let's go.
Yeah, no water. We're going to do
right.
wall sits until we throw up.
That's right.
And then we're going to go out there and we're going
We're going to work on our defense. We're going to work on our zone coverage.
You know it's a real sport when it's co-ed. That's when you know.
Yes.
That's when you know. That's when you know that it's a
Did they have the
powerful
co-ed?
situation.
I had no idea you were that evolved. I thought you were being sarcastic for a second, but
No.
you do get it.
No, I know when, like, if I see
He's grown up a lot.
If I see a basketball program, for instance, and I'm like, oh, it's co-ed, I'm like, this has got to be the top tier.
Hardy, did you have the co-ed naked Ultimate Frisbee T-shirt when you were
No,
younger?
you couldn't wear that. That's for
lame.
That's silly.
Yeah, I did that when I went down to Daytona for spring break, John. No.
Did you ever go to where they did the first montage for the beginning of Three's Company? And pretend you were Jack on the beach and throw a disc and then trip over a wall or something?
No, but you know,
because he introduced a frisbee to so many people.
we were all aware of the handful of times the Ultimate did make it into a movie, like in PCU. There is
which is one of the great
great film.
movies.
It
One
is
of
a
the
great film.
Piven's finest turn.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Andrew Callahan, there is a lot of consternation over this loss against Indianapolis. In the long term, does losing games like this, because obviously this season's not about this season. It's so much as it is in the future of the franchise. What are your feelings on how much these losses mean for the future of the team, coaching staff? What are you gleaning from all this?
Yeah, I don't think you can take any one game and push it into the future and say, oh, this is going to be some kind of giant moment that we all look back on and you knew either Gerard Mayo didn't have it or Drake May was the quarterback. It's a collection of games. And what you find out about your team, whether you're a contender or pretender or whatever the Patriots are, is who you are under pressure. Right now, they're losing these games, even though they're outgaining the Colts by like 200 yards and win the turnover battle, because they're losing in the pressure spots, not just the end-of-game drive there, which involves clock management, it involves how prepared you are as a defense, but also in the red zone. Like, this did not come down to a 20-play drive, if you include the 2-point conversion. Had they gotten one more touchdown, then they did field goal and instead go 2 for 6 inside the red zone. So, to me, what that says over the course of a season is, okay, do we have the right coaches? Because there are specific coaches in charge of some of the red zone work. And then when it comes to the defense and playing under pressure, what are we doing in practice? What are we doing in meetings that doesn't have us steeled for those moments? To me, that's what you can take from this season. What do we need to change, but not one particular game?
And if you want the slim margin of victory, listen to the scores from last week. These are just scores. I'm cherry picking, but there's a lot. 24-19, 26-23, 21-14, 23-20, 26-21, 25-24, 23-22, 17-13. I mean, I've left out 3 games. I mean, those are all one-score games. That's in so much of the NFL, and you're seeing it with a team like Kansas City. So much of the NFL is knowing how to win and not choking in those situations. Kansas City with another quarterback and another coach, just for the final possessions of the game, might have a reverse record or might, or certainly a losing record. It's just not choking and not giving games up. You see teams do it all the time.
And the Patriots are what, Andrew, 2-5 in one-score games?
Now, let's say this, though, because it's such a short season. Over a baseball season, everyone's around 500 in one-run games, right? Unless you absolutely suck. There's luck involved. Hunter Henry having that ball ricochet off his hands, falling backwards at the 1-yard line, 3 feet from a touchdown, into the Colts defender's hands is mostly just bad luck. In the same way it was good luck when you go back to the opener and they have that pick at the 1-yard line in Cincinnati, which should have been a touchdown for the Bengals. So it does cut both ways. There's randomness in here, which is often why you see teams with bad records in one-score games one season often have that flip the next.
Okay, but there is that. But it's not. I don't think it's a coincidence that Kansas City is winning these close games.
No, I'm just saying it's both.
No. What I'm saying is, though, like how much of that can be learned? In the fact that they're not doing it now, does that concern you for the future with this coaching staff?
Not yet, because I think we're going to see changes to this coaching staff within the first week or two after the season. This is me reading tea leaves. Also a comment that Gerard Mayo made yesterday that I don't think got a whole lot of pub when someone asked him, hey, what are you doing during the bye week? And I was headlong into film, and Doug very graciously handles a lot of the press conference and radio stuff for us on Mondays. But he said, I'm going to get away, and I'm going to think about these conversations and decisions that come up on us real fast in the offseason. You guys know, free agency is not until March. The draft is not until April. What happens the first week after the season are coaching changes. And everyone makes a big deal about the head coaches. I don't think Gerard Mayo is going anywhere and shouldn't. But coordinators, assistants, and you already have 2 teams, the Bears and Jets, who go, well, my boss is gone. Why would I expect to be here next season? Probably making some calls.
All right, and the self-scouting, as you know, like in the bye week, these teams self-scout.
Yeah.
And that, there might be some decisions that, some flaws that they're seeing throughout the season so far that can be attributed. Who do you think is most likely to be replaced? Or what changes do you think most likely, in your opinion?
Yeah, I want to underscore this is just speculation, and this isn't honestly unique to the Patriots, right? If you're looking at any team close enough and be like, what are the positions that are underperforming relative to the talent, or more importantly, to rebuild, who's not developing? Patriots took 2 receivers in the first 4 rounds, and they haven't had a catch between them in weeks. Javon Baker plays 4 snaps. I would look at the receivers. Tyler Hughes is that coach. The offensive line, another position. Gerard Mayo said multiple times, frustrated by the offensive line, lack of continuity. And some of that is injuries. Like, it's just bad luck for Scott Peters, who's also a rookie offensive line coach. But that's the most important position on staff after the coordinators, because you're dealing with more players and basically half of the offense. So we don't pay attention to them except for when they screw up. But every coaching staff is looking for a good offensive line coach. Scott Peters once hailed as an excellent assistant offensive line coach. I think there are questions about him as a lead guy.
How much of this is the structure that was put into place when the season started? First-year head coach, first-year defensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt. Not a ton of experience calling offensive plays. First-year special teams coach, first-year offensive line coach. I mean, how much of that is the people above them?
Yeah, it's a good question, John, because I think the other element, and we remember when they were building that staff, Gerard didn't have a network, so they leaned heavily on Elliott Wolf. They also had to take their time. So there were candidates on the market, not just the coordinator level, but position coaches that were going left and right. Some of them don't have interest. You can't hire a guy and force him to play or work in your building if he doesn't want to be there. But I do think it was the inexperience that Gerard had inhibited him from building the staff that he wanted because he was learning on the fly. That's why Alex Van Pelt was the 12th out of 12 candidates interviewed and then finally hired.
See, the thing with the offense, though, when you're talking about, because I hear Alex Van Pelt's name get mentioned a lot, and you didn't mention him here, but whether it's the offensive line coordinator or the receivers coach, offense hasn't necessarily been the issue here.
Not lately.
No, it's more about the defense, and you've got this defensive-minded head coach. You got the defense, which personnel-wise, which was supposed to be the strong point of this team going into the season. You know, you look at the number of points they're scoring and how they're scoring them, and with the personnel they've got, that's actually about right. And the offensive line, for as bad as it is personnel-wise, there have been games when they played better than anyone, at least I thought they would. So I look at it and say, defensively, these guys should be way better. They should have been able to get a couple of key stops on Sunday in order to win that football game.
All right,
so
well,
it's not as fun to look at, Fred, but I think that's something that has to be looked at.
It's totally fair. One quick note on that. The defensive staff is much smaller. Like, you can identify who's screwing up more easily. I think if you're Gerard Mayo, you just know them better because you work with guys like Mike Pellegrino and Brian Belichick and DeMarcus Cummings. And last year, the offensive staff is big and it's new.
And who's he more friendly with?
All right. Well, let's continue this
Yeah.
conversation after the break. We will be right back with more of our friend Andrew Callahan in just a moment.
best performance from our offense that we've had all season. The way that those guys were able to run the ball. There were some protection issues, but I would say for the most part, it was pretty good. And we're able to throw the ball. That's always a good formula to be balanced like that in a game.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants to give you the gift of travel this holiday season. Be listening at the beginning of the next break for your chance to score a $100 Visa gift card for your holiday events and travels without worrying about the price of gas. Visit the contest page at 985thesportshub.com for another chance to win. We have Andrew Callahan from the Herald in. You guys were talking about the defense and the relationship between Mayo and the defensive coordinator and all those things and how that might be a difficult change to make given their relationship. But when you look at this roster as a whole, you and John were talking about it during the break. What percentage of this roster do you think is here in 2 seasons? The current roster.
It's a great question. Not one I've not thought of
approximately.
Before. Right. Not trying to be exact. I'm just this is something I was thinking about more than a month ago. And I think the answer is probably somewhere between 12 and 20%, because you look at obviously Drake May. Ramondre Stevenson's under contract, but I think after next season could be an easy out, and he's an older running back. Probably one or two of the receivers. Pick whichever one you want.
Barmore
certainly. Keon White could be, but then he'll hit free agency. Kyle Duggar may or may not still be around. Certainly Christian Gonzalez. I don't think there's a reason why they wouldn't just give him a blank check and say, please stay, please stay, please stay. And then another guy or two. Like this, they overturned 40% of the roster from the end of last season to the end of training camp this year. And you're still looking and going, where are the pieces? And that's what this season was about. Foundation. Mayo told us at the right before training camp started, and then said it last week again. We're trying to find out who we have and who we can move forward with.
And is it the results worse or better than you anticipated? Not in terms of record or team performance, but in terms of individual player performance.
It's worse. And I'm glad you made the qualifier, because everyone was like, oh, they're 3-10, year one of a rebuild. You're totally right. 1,000,000% right. The issue is the lack of development, or let's just talk about the defense. Okay, this defense, has gotten worse as the season goes on. Say we will about the worst Patriot teams in general. Their defense got better as the season went along. They're bottom 5 by DVOA, bottom 7 by EPA, and they're still allowing 23 points per game. So the offense is what it was, but that's getting better. And it's not just Drake May, though he's getting better and had his best game yet last Sunday. Like, the defense is complete collapse was something I don't think anyone saw.
And that's where the issue of the coordinator comes in, because what you wanted to see this season is a positive evolution. And the biggest thing is Drake May, and we were talking about it again off air. Drake May's, you just share your thoughts. I mean, he's better than you expected, correct?
Yeah, he's a stud. Yes. You sound like the beat reporter who's got one pen in one hand and pom-poms in the other. He's only played 8 games. I get it. But I counted 5 throws on Sunday, rewatching the film yesterday, where he had a completion for a first down, and the ball is leaving his hand either before or as the receiver's making his break. These are anticipatory NFL throws that made a difference yesterday that kept their offense alive. Forget the scrambling, forget the arm talent. Like, this was, I'm going to live within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage, and I'm going to kill you. And that's exactly what they did. Like, he is not only just a natural, not just talented, but he's growing in ways that some quarterbacks who stick around the league for 10 years don't make that many types of throws in one game.
Yeah, and if you watch games just on a Sunday, if you just flip, because the Patriots are at 1 o'clock on Sunday, so you have your options. If you flip around, I mean, May stands out. He just does. I don't know how many Patriots fans, stick around or flip around or have the package or whatever. But, I mean, if you watch other games, May is different. May is better. I mean, May's better than Richardson, and Richardson was a high pick. I mean, Richardson's a crazy athlete, never going to get 2 points with him. But, I mean, you'd much rather have May just look around the league, what the kid can do, and that's the most important thing. I contend finding the quarterback is the most important thing, but then you have a Cincinnati situation where they have Joe Burrow, and now the team's out of playoff contention, and that's a coaching issue, but that's a coach that took them to the Super Bowl. But my contention is I'd rather have the quarterback than the coach first. Like, I can find another coach.
Yep.
Because I could always pay a guy, right? Like, there's always a Sean Payton out there that can be wooed, to come in and take over a team.
How would you woo Sean Payton? From the little you know about Sean Payton.
I would just show him a picture of Nathaniel Hackett and say that you can replace this moron and you can go whatever you want.
You're not going to dinner?
What with Sean Payton?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
you're wooing the man, I'm just curious what that weekend looks like.
You're taking it literally, Andrew.
No. Come on, I want you to work for me. Just Fred, the owner of a football team.
Simple gestures. I mean, like just let him know I'm thinking about him. Sending a text here and there. And
Have
just
you talked
going,
to
like,
Sean
heads up.
Payton?
No, I've never spoken to him privately.
We did one thing at a Super Bowl with him once. Let me tell you something. He's the one who does the wooing.
Oh,
he does the long eye contact.
He's a Clinton.
Nice. He does, yeah. He's got that. He's got that Bush, Clinton,
Most
you name
important person in the room. Look.
Obama, Trump thing. They've all got it right. And it's like when his handler is like tugging at him, and it's like it's time to leave, and he gives him the, they got the brush away. It's like
so you feel good. You feel important.
I'm talking with these three here right now.
You know who's another guy like that? Jerry Rice. I got that impression from because he followed the Jim Gray interview.
Nice guy,
and he was like who's that dickhead kind of situation, and
right
then,
afterwards, yeah.
and didn't have a handler, salt of the earth fella, not really a Clinton type, but I just want to throw the name Jerry Rice in here. Very impressive guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that from Jerry Rice, but just from what little you see of him on TV.
But I like an impressive man or woman. I value that. You have to admit it. I insult a lot of people, but if I find an impressive person, I stick with them.
Andrew Callahan, have you been starstruck by someone you were interviewing?
It's a good question.
Yeah, somebody who really connects with you like that.
Yeah.
Wallach and I found out at the Celtics day, maybe you had talked to him before, I didn't know, Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
He
has a big
presence.
Well, Jim Montgomery
Oh,
was
no,
like
the
that.
kids say aura.
Jim Montgomery was like that. I mean, now he's gone.
But anyway, you've never had that happen to you?
You know what's funny is this is adjacent to that. It's not direct, but when the Celtics won the championship and they let the media in for an hour and you're in there to write stories or shoot video or do whatever, like Luke Cornett's at the top of the mountain, and that's a 7-foot dude, taller, higher than he's ever been. Champagne going everywhere. I want to ask him a couple of questions. He's leaning over for 5 straight minutes on ending eye contact, answering my questions. He can probably half hear, and I'm like, why? At the end of that, like, why are you talking to me? Just
because you were
go
talking to
elsewhere.
him.
Because no one else was talking to him.
No one usually pulls Luke aside and says, "Here, let's sit down and talk."
You were the guy talking to him. He was overwhelmed.
We're bringing up guys
You know how
like
much
Sean Payton and Jerry Rice and Jaylen Brown. The guys that other guys want to talk to. So that's why
I'm speaking more to the eye contact.
Notable.
Like, we could go back to my first year in the beat, and it's Tom Brady and it's Bill Belichick, and they've been to the last 2 Super Bowls, and they've won 5, and they go on to win another. But they're not spending time, as you know, making eye contact, making you feel a certain way that Sean Payton was.
Tom Bernansky was a man
Oh,
who
hey.
could just stare at you and let you know.
Yeah.
Let me think
was
on that.
Was a big. I'll tell you, Danny Ainge was an impressive man.
Yes.
Mike Gorman is an impressive man. Mm-hmm. These are impressive men that I've come across in my sports radio career. Those are 2 impressive.
But you haven't had that moment, huh?
Let me think on it.
I did. We don't have.
My brain is too filled with stats doing the show.
We don't have Brad Stevens on the show because he was boring. And after Danny Ainge, because you had Danny Ainge who was he was unafraid, and then you have Brad Stevens who I've met and is a good guy and in a much more impressive face-to-face than he was on the radio. I found it disappointing.
Yeah, and when you say impressive, it's there's like almost an intimidation factor. You feel comfortable with him, but you also get the sense that he is more powerful than you at the same time. And with Brad, I always felt really comfortable talking to him.
Here's the thing, is that a fearlessness in what they say because they know that they're good enough to pull it off, and a not talking down to you unless it's warranted. And just in an obvious intelligence. I mean, Brad Stevens is an intelligent guy, obviously, and a great GM. He just after having Danny Ainge on for a decade, it was very difficult to transfer over. Go ahead,
Terry Francona, when he wasn't insulting me and sitting
or taking
going
a
to the
dump
bathroom.
while you were
right. Well, I was forced to sit there and half watch.
I got a good one. Going way back, student at UConn, Gino Auriemma.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
He has to have a presence.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
for him to
and this was
recruit
not
like that,
just like I'm 18 and I'm working for the student newspaper, which was also the case. Like You watch him operate, walk around the arena, treat people, talk to them, eye contact, whole spiel. Absolute Gino Auriemma.
So he's not an ass.
Well,
No.
he might be an ass to some people, but to build a program like that, like in this, and to keep it that successful, I mean, there's no reason UConn should be this huge, have any huge sports.
I know. For those of you who have not been to UConn, and Andrew could back me up on this, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Connecticut. I mean, there's nothing near the campus.
There's no reason in particular that he should have the world's greatest basketball team, women's
He and
basketball
Jim
team in history.
Calhoun, master recruiters to that.
Well, you have to have that thing. You have to have that shine.
We have a Moe's grill.
Yeah. I wish there was a Moe's closer to here.
Andrew Callahan, UConn grad.
Isn't there Moe's down in Foxborough, Patriot Place?
There's a Moe's in Watertown. There might be a Moe's in Waltham.
Well, how close do you need it?
What, Foxborough? Watertown? I'm not driving to Watertown.
There
to
used
get
to be a
Moe's.
Moe's out near me. It closed.
Moe's is a fast food place that you don't go out of your way unless.
How
it's
nice
Chick-fil-A.
is that?
If there were
welcome.
If there were an Arby's within 50 miles of here, I would go once a month.
I think you'd be surprised. I think
No.
because there's one real close to my parents' house, and I don't go to it anymore.
Well, that's because the woman with the open wounds on her arms.
There's a woman with open sores at the drive-through.
Wildly different.
And she was handing me the food.
We've got the sores.
Yeah, she obviously she was injecting drugs, and they were obviously speed. They were amphetamine because this was not a one and out shot. This was multiple shots a day arms. That, I mean, she had really abused the veins. I mean, because you know when people shoot coke,
of course
they're not just shooting it once. When you're shooting, you want to see someone who flips out.
Don't waste time saying things that we all know. Yes,
You know that if you want to see someone who's completely off the rails, it's someone who's shooting cocaine or shooting cocaine. Those are the people. That's when Lane Staley spent 2 days in his bathroom. Mark Lanigan came into Lane
Do a
Staley.
lot of people shoot the straight cocaine, or are they shooting speedballs?
No, straight cocaine. They shoot
Oh.
straight cocaine.
No, I never.
No,
I never.
no,
run it,
speedball would kind of even you out. No, I've never been around it either. But this is what I've heard. Lane Staley, died OD'd. He was the singer of Alice in Chains. Mark Lanigan, singer of the Screaming Trees, comes in one day and Lane Staley's laying on his stomach in the bathroom. He ignores it. He comes in the next day. Lane Staley's still laying on his stomach in the bathroom. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like talking to the guys on the wall. He was in there for 2 days. He was communicating with people that lived in the wall. That is the kind of delirium that you go into when you've been up for 3 days shooting speed or coke or whatever it is.
Let that be a lesson to you, Andrew.
Andrew, because I know the pressures at UConn. And don't think someone's impressive just because they're a hotshot with a marijuana cigarette. A jazz cigarette is. You want, and if someone asks you if you want to get wet, they're not talking about. They're talking about smoking angel dust.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. I remember Connecticut. I would go out there, and I would bathe in the river, naked, with Fran Lebowitz.
Fran Lebowitz.
She had a house, man.
Fawn Leibowitz.
No, Fran Lebowitz,
sorry.
the woman that Scorsese's so fond of.
I'm thinking Animal House. That's on me.
No, Ann Leibowitz was what? Fran Lebowitz. Yeah, she had a dead. He looked up the dead lady so he could have sex with her.
That's it.
You understand, Jack?
No.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think of someone who might have a place in Connecticut. All right, Andrew Callahan, 2 stats, 1 lie. He was very successful. John got off the schneid last week. We will see where we stand. And a lot of people reached out and said that I was actually correct in my logic, but I just didn't.
You're too dumb to come up with the wrong answer.
Yeah,
based
that's
on
it.
your own logic.
But if modern test taking and intelligence scales, that
Very
counts
low.
for
You would
something.
Off the
very
charts. Yes.
Yeah, that would be off the charts. That would count for something. But we will have that with Andrew in just a moment.
Sports Hub headline. passion for Boston sports. Get angry! 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Andrew has 2 stats, but he has just 1 lie. Andrew has 2 stats, but he has just 1 lie.
Hey, everybody. We are Dutcher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants to give you the gift of travel this holiday season. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Will score a $100 Visa gift card for your holiday events and travels without worrying about the price of gas. Visit the contest page at 985thesportshub.com for another chance to win. And Andrew Callahan is in here. And, of course, everyone loves 2 stats, 1 lie. He brought it to us, but that is not the theme of the segment. We always...
Let's do this. It takes 2 stats from the other night. And 1 lie, see if you can get it right. It takes 2 stats from the other night. And 1 lie, see if you can get it right.
All right, so what Andrew has...
Does Reese come up to you and he's like all jealous? How come you got a theme song?
No.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I'm
Reese doesn't
perpetually
come in
jealous
studio.
of Mike Reese, though.
Yeah, Mike Reese doesn't come in studio. Andrew came in with his own bit.
That's a good point.
We tried to start one for Bert, but it was too complicated. All right, Andrew Callahan, you've come up with 3 statistics. 2 of them will be correct and true, and 1 will be false. It's up to the 3 of us to pick which one. What are the records now? I should have gotten the point last week, but
You did. You have moved to 4-7 on the season. You missed a week. That means with my additional win, I am ahead of you at 5-7.
Well, it did snow.
It was a wall of ice at the end.
There was
of the
no
driveway.
no. There was a sniffle day. Wallach's still suckling hind teat at 2-10.
Which is of no surprise to anyone.
Andrew Callahan 21-11. So statistically, that's about right.
24-11, but I will
24-11. Excuse me.
I will tell you this: I'm going to dock myself 1 point. Last week, I said the Patriots were the only team without a 50-yard play. That was untrue. It is a lie. But a listener reached out to me and said, "You said they actually don't have one. They're one of 4 teams." Antonio Gibson had a 50-yard rush. So my information
Didn't
was
I
wrong.
guess that? Didn't I guess that?
Does
number
not
3
change
last
anyone
week?
else's scores.
Doesn't change any.
Oh,
doesn't
even though
change
he was
any-
wrong?
Nope, doesn't change any.
Hardy got
I
the lie.
deserve
It
one.
was still untrue.
I'm not changing. I'm not
but I'm
changing
going
your
down
story either. No,
come on.
it's already written down in pen.
But remember when
we
I
learned from Deflategate, it's about the integrity of the game.
I got robbed.
When I
Should be 3-9.
yesterday, last week I talked through the logic correctly, and then I just said the wrong thing. And the listeners were understanding. I didn't even get a mean email. They were like, "You should get points," and so I appreciated that. Thank you for recognizing my intelligence. And it might not be the way you interpret information, but it's nonetheless significant and worthy of some note. All right, Andrew Callahan, let's hear it. You
Okay,
get
number
with it.
1. Every Patriots wideout has more drops than touchdowns this season. Every Patriots wideout has more drops than touchdowns this season. Number 2, there is a Patriots player who has caught his last 12 passes in a row. Right now, there is a Patriots player who has caught his last 12 passes in a row. Number 3, the Patriots are the only team in the NFL not to play an indoor game this season. The Patriots are the only team in the NFL not to play an indoor game this season.
Okay.
Okay.
That feels easily a stat. That last one. I'm going right away stat.
We'll go through the schedule. They're the only team. They haven't played an indoor game.
No.
So, but the only team not to have played an indoor game.
Yeah, I would think that every other team in the league has played at least once indoors. I'm just gonna guess and say that one's right. The Patriots drops more than touchdowns also feels like a stat. I think the lie is going to be the Patriots have a player who has caught their last 12 catches in a row, and I think we're going to get tripped up. He's going to say, actually, no, it was 11. Big dick, I'm Andrew Callahan. You're close, but it was actually he's caught his last 11.
Is Arizona indoors?
No. Yes, it is, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
You sound just like you.
I know. Yes, you nailed it.
Where's the music?
Huh?
No, we ran out.
All right. So what did you say, Hardy, was your guess?
My guess is the Patriots have a player who has caught their last 12 targets.
Okay.
Is that essentially it?
Okay.
You want me to go
That's
next?
a lie.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Okay.
That one is a lie.
I'm on board with every wide receiver has more drops than touchdowns. Most of the passes have gone to tight ends. Tight ends have been the leading receivers on this team for at least half the games, if not more. I think Hardy's right. Patriots only team not to play an indoor game this season. That sounds like a stat to me. So this week I'm going to agree with Hardy. I think number 2 is the lie.
All right. We're going to seem silly if it's number 1 because, drops, though, are – yeah, but how many receivers have – off the top of your head, can you think of a receiver that would have more than 2 touchdowns?
But that's the thing. That's where I'm going. They just don't throw to receivers in end zones. I mean, Jalen Polk by himself has more drops than touchdowns.
Yeah, because it's always Stevenson or Hunter Henry. All right, so let's say that's true. I'm reading him this week.
It's hard to do.
Pressure's on.
I've never tried it. I've never tried. So you guys say the last 12. The guys caught the last 12 passes.
Hardy and I think number 2 is the lie.
You know what? I'm going to say number 3 is the lie because the Pats haven't played inside. The Jets have. And those are the 2 teams I follow. And the Lions have. So those are 3 teams. And the Lions played only outside like twice.
But you're proving
you're doing the same thing you did last week.
That's a lie. You're proving that that's a stat. You just named teams that have played inside.
So Pats are the only team that haven't played outside.
Inside.
Yeah. So the Pats. So I'm saying the Pats. So
that's a truth.
Help me.
That's the truth. You're looking for a lie.
Oh.
And he's like almost winning this thing. Jesus.
I'm gonna give you a half point just to stop. Is that okay?
I'm trying too hard is the problem.
So what's the answer? Is it 1 or 2 that's the lie? Since we've now established 3 is the truth for you. Do you agree with Hardy and I, or you think 1's the lie?
Wait, because if the Lions and Jets have played indoors and the Patriots haven't, that would mean the Patriots are the only team that hasn't played indoors.
Do you want me to read the 3 of them one more time? I think people might have forgotten. Okay. Number 1. Every Patriots wideout has more drops than touchdown catches this season. Number 2, there's a Patriots player who right now has caught his last 12 passes in a row, or targets, as Hardy said. Number 3, the Patriots are the only team not to play an indoor game this season.
I'm going with 3.
All right, he's going with 3. So 1 is empty. 1, no one guessed 1. I know Hardy's really having trouble over there.
Fred, what?
We all missed it?
Yep.
Oh,
it was 1.
Oh.
The lie was 1. So the Patriots are the only team not to play an indoor game this season because the Jets have played, the Lions have played, the Bears have played, the Browns have played, Steelers have played.
Oh,
all indoors.
Jesus Christ. I just did the same thing to myself.
Yes! That's
we
right.
tried to stop
We just tried to explain that to you for about 5 minutes.
I don't know why I can't do this. I got like a mental problem.
I can't believe I'm losing to this guy.
Do you want to take the bye and I'll take this? Or do you want to, I'm going to go on a 4-day break here.
I don't understand why I can't conceptualize these questions. It's really dumb.
We just, the 2 of us, spent time trying to explain that to you.
The thing is that, well, I would have guessed 2 anyway. I wouldn't have guessed 1. So this one I'll take. This one I'll take.
All right. Who's the player who's caught their last 12 in a row?
Austin Hooper, and it's 14.
Wow.
Boy. 14.
Wow.
Is there a wide receiver that has close to more drops than touchdowns? There has to be.
You're going to hate this, but it's the truth. KJ Osborne has 1 touchdown and 1 drop.
Oh,
when you don't
so
play.
it's equal to. That's how
More-
we tipped this
more
off.
drops.
Because I would
More.
have guessed 2 as well. It would have been unanimously 2. So I don't feel as bad about this. It is interesting how my brain is working. In that
Is that the word?
It
Working?
It is damaged. Well, it's doing something. I'm functioning at some level. It's just not a high level.
Drew's got 2 stats, baby. But only one lie, maybe. 2 stats, 1 lie. Won't you give it a try?
Is that It Takes 2, baby?
Yeah, Marvin Gaye. Yeah. You know what? Okay, hold on.
So, okay.
There's one more in there.
We got another one.
Andrew's got 2 stats, but he only has 1 no good stinking lie. Andrew's got 2 stats, but has only 1 lie. Who will guess correctly?
I'm still concerned about how my brain's working.
This won't help.
Money Man.
I'm in no shape to do a Money Man impression.
Sit down and have a big old meal.
My brain is really off.
It's a nutty time of the year, but hey,
I gotta start doing like.
Oh, poor Fred.
Andrew, you saw the same thing we did. We were trying to explain this to him, right?
So
Okay.
close.
Yes.
wear your seatbelt.
I don't know. I gotta start doing puzzles or something. I'm like getting Alzheimer's.
There are websites for this.
It's funny because I know what I'm like not wrong,
but there's a roadblock between the brain and the mouth.
But I can't conceptualize the question. It's really like I wonder if I'm like dyslexic or something.
You're fine. Mid-season happens. To
No, because I'm the way I'm right, kind of, but I can't conceptualize the question. Isn't that interesting?
27-11. Andrew moves to Fred.
No, it's better for the bit that he wins it.
4-8. I'm 5-8. John 2-11.
All right, very good. Andrew Callahan, read him in the Herald. Thank you so much for the time,
Andrew's
sir.
got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats, but he's got 1 lie.
Now I gotta let this play. We're so late.
Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats, but he's got 1 lie. He's got 1 lie.
All right, I gotta go. We gotta go. All right.
Come on, girl.
All right, there you have it. All right. Thank you, Andrew. We'll be right back.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. This is the Money Man.
You're listening to
scoring an easy 108-89 win over Miami at TD Garden last night. Jaylen Brown scored 29 points to lead all scorers, and Joe Mazzulla saw Payton Pritchard add another 25 points off the bench.
As a player, as he's continued to grow and be patient, the hardest thing for young guys is to make it through their first contract, when there's a lot of unknowns. And you look at his first year, he played a lot, then Kemba came back and he didn't play. And it seems like his first couple years, every year, there was just wings ahead of him, and he's just continued to work. And so that's hard to do for a young guy.
The Celtics secured their 8th win in 9 games, despite the fact that they were missing Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Sam Hauser yesterday. They'll find out tonight if they secured a wild card spot in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. Their next game is tomorrow night at home against Detroit. As for the Bruins, they had last night off, but they're back at work tonight at home against Detroit. Brian Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots are off for the bye week. Denver played last night. They held off the Browns 41-32. Also, San Francisco has placed their top 2 running backs, Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, on injured reserve. McCaffrey could miss the rest of the season. And with the winter meeting set to begin in Dallas on Monday, the MLB Network reported yesterday top free agent Juan Soto is expected to decide on his new team in around 10 days. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by South Shore Bank. At Beatles Bank, sharing your success and growing your business is what Above and Beyond is all about. Happy holidays from South Shore Bank, member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Let's talk turkey, shall we?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, in the sports industry, that's what you say.
Got your talking head right here, buddy.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Simply go to YouTube and search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and then you subscribe, and then we're in the algorithm, and then we can't lose. Hardy was just telling me of the chat on YouTube and how there's rebel rousers in there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't look at the chat because I got to figure that either you're friends with everyone in the chat, if you're involved in like actively chatting, or you're being a disruptor.
Are they insulting people, Hardy? What seems to be the problem?
This was hours ago.
Oh,
it's not like something that if you go through the chat right now, you won't find.
But
it.
I told Hardy if it makes him feel better, when I was in rehab and I would watch it, it was they were no fans. They were no fans of anything that was going on at that time either.
Yeah,
like just I don't think anyone on that, many people on that are fans. Necessarily fans of the show. All right. What is going on? There's so much around the holidays, my friend, and with the kids and the music and the streaming services. What are you going to... And you got to keep up to date on what's going on. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, you have to. And sometimes, I don't know if you're aware of this, Fred, musical artists will branch out into other areas of interest and other mediums. And that is what is taking place with Maynard James Keenan. Wallach, do you know who Maynard James Keenan is?
I do not.
Okay. Well, he is the lead vocalist of a few different outfits. One of them is Pussifer. The other one is A Perfect Circle. But you probably know him best as the frontman for the band Tool.
Ah.
Very accomplished prog rock group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I called them prog rock. Math rock. It's just rock and roll. It's just good stuff.
I interviewed him once, and the guy from the record label was like, "Dude, like, he doesn't suffer fools. He's kind of a dick. Like, be like really careful with him." So he came out with Josh Freese, who had drummed at that point. It was before Chinese Democracy came out, and he had been drumming with Guns N' Roses. He's drummed for everyone. Josh Freese, I think, has been on something like 1,000 albums. So I just talked to Josh Freese the whole time. I literally didn't ask James a question, and he got mad that I didn't ask him a question.
Fred, I have a similar story. I had to interview him and Billy Howardell, who, of course, is the main dude from A Perfect Circle, for their first album. And the label guy, probably the same label guy, was like, "Listen, Maynard's going to be in on the interview. he's not here to talk about Tool. Don't talk about Tool, blah, 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 blah. And literally, like, just asked an open-ended question about a perfect circle. Maynard didn't even look at me. He just pointed at Billy Howardell, so I interviewed Billy Howardell. Even when we got on a subject that Maynard was now interested in, no, you're not part of it.
That's exactly what I did, too.
Dick.
Is that, like, it's like if you're going to be, like, a pompous
just
guy
don't
who's
come.
acting better than me, then I'm not going to talk to you.
Then don't come to the interview.
I'm not, and I'm not one to sit there and just allow myself to be insulted by someone I don't know. So screw you.
Yeah.
So and you know he's friends with like David Cross and stuff. And I like David Cross.
I like David Cross.
But I just wouldn't want to be friends.
I
with
just
him.
wish David Cross were as funny as he thinks he is,
or as smart as he thinks he
Oh,
is.
my
It's a
God.
really good take.
If David Cross were as funny as he thought he was, he would be Richard Pryor and George Carlin and just everyone.
And Eddie
rolled into
Murphy,
one.
Delirious. Yeah, he would be on the top of the. I mean, I like him. I just don't think I'd want to hang out with him.
So I talked to Maynard once over the phone. It did not go well. The other time he came in studio at BCN, and he was there to talk about his wine, and he couldn't have talked more. Oh, he was there to talk about the Maynard James Keenan cellars and everything else. So
Preferred topic.
I
That's
think
what-
this
that's
is what
I'm
we're
talking
getting to with Maynard. If you really want him to talk, get him to talk about his true love and his new movie.
The reason we're calling it the Great In Between is because a lot of people walk through that door have never done a martial art.
I know a girl that knew him in Grand Rapids, Michigan, when he had like a mullet, and her name is Margot, and she used to work for 99X, and she knew him in Grand Rapids, and it's so funny knowing what he was like in Grand Rapids, and now that he's this like art, magnet and winemaker and filmmaker,
Big
like,
Sedona guy.
And jiu-jitsu black belt holder.
Of course.
The reason we're calling it the Great In Between is because a lot of people walk through that door have never done a martial art. It seems daunting. So we're setting the groundwork for them to not be scared of this thing.
Okay, here's what judo and jiu-jitsu has become. It's become polo. It's for rich people with a ton of time on their hands. That is what it is. It's polo. It's equestrian. It's a something for the rich and privileged to indulge in and then suffer upon you as like this is something that is so wonderful and you don't understand it. I mean, because think about it. It's part of the algorithm for an older white guy. Older white guys like Joe Rogan people. You realize that this is like now just a thing. That like, and this is being thrown at us because we're on the algorithm. We are to be doing jiu-jitsu.
Might as well be racquetball.
Yeah, we're squash. It's now squash, jiu-jitsu squash, and now you can sit around and listen to these guys. And I'm sure every black belt is the same. I'm sure they're all as gifted at it. I'm sure it's not like Dwight Schrute when the dude from The Sopranos came in and gave him the black belt in front of the office. Listen, this guy spent about $100,000 in lessons. We gotta give him the black belt. Like I don't think there's like Royce Gracie, is the only name I know. Like I have a feeling he's a little more adept at it than Maynard James Keenan. And the way they got the black belts differed a little bit.
Yeah,
I would guess.
A scenario where they can learn drills, exercises that are in a way the introduction to jiu-jitsu.
Well, how about high school wrestling? Just wrestle in high school. But that wouldn't be cool because it's not an ancient martial art.
See, this is one of the main differences between you and me, Fred, and there are many. You automatically see the red flag of being suckered into something. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe I should take jiu-jitsu. All these people are into it.
Okay.
Seems like it has a lot going for it.
Talk to your buddy Missoula.
Who's the kid from Superbad and he became famous? The kid from the heavier kid from Superbad. Now
Jonah?
Yeah.
Jonah Hill. So Jonah Hill, I think, is a great actor and super funny. And we had an issue on the show, and then he like rectified it. So I think he's a good guy. But they do this thing that I watch on YouTube called like what you can't live without. And it's this GQ thing, and the guy sits at a table, and it's like I have this notepad. Like it's just kind of interesting. He had his gi.
Oh, no.
Jonah Hill had his gi. And it's just everyone is doing this, and it's insufferable now. Like
See a black belt?
I'm sure he's a black belt. No. no, he's not a black belt.
A Hollywood actor worth probably a soft, $30 million, Jonah Hill net worth?
It's cold plunging, and this is what they're selling you now, is cold plunging and jiu-jitsu. And then once you do this, like, your life will be 1,000 times better. And I can assure you it won't. It won't. I'm sure it's a great exercise, and that it's like chess, and it's good for your brain, and maybe you could answer these questions I can't answer correctly, but it's not going to solve your problem.
It's more to your take that I clearly, your take is accurate, because I don't have any money, so I never see these. They never come up in my algorithm.
Why am I doing this, and why is it important?
It's Giving Tuesday and making us find charities for you to throw
Thank you
at
for
people.
that, by the way.
Oh, but remember earlier when 12 was out in the hallway for a while, and he was really getting into it, and a really, you could tell, passionate
I didn't notice
conversation.
it, but you did,
Yeah. Do you know?
Oh God,
It's not as perfect as I thought it would be, because I thought it was somebody from, some charity or some soup kitchen or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who could have 12 that engaged? No, it was not. It was a local celebrity of sorts, even though I kind of guessed that's who it might be, but I had the wrong guy. It was the other guy who was standing there, but I thought, is that? And it was a local music guy.
Oh, I have no idea.
A local orchestral music guy.
Oh, it's the
Keith Lockhart.
Oh, it's Keith Lockhart.
It's Keith Lockhart.
12 at his
Got to
pants
meet him.
at his ankles.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
because that's how Keith Lockhart likes it too. Keith Lockhart likes him some Keith Lockhart.
I got to meet him. I'm very excited.
I've done the 12 days.
I'm
of
so
Christmas.
jealous. You have no idea how jealous I am of you that you got to do that. It's a dream of mine.
It is one of Scott Zolak's 3 irrational hatreds in life. Hermie the Elf from the claymation special.
I want to be a dentist. Yep.
Shark expert Greg Skomel hates him.
Random.
Why?
And Keith Lockhart. The Keith Lockhart
Why?
hatred.
What is nonsense?
Oh, weighs that stupid stick like he thinks he's a big
Oh, so
shot.
he just doesn't understand what conducting is.
Well, no
It's
one does.
On brand.
No one understands what conducting
look at my
does.
stick. Oh, shut up.
I like
Think
how
you're so big.
I like how Adam's like, well, no, he doesn't understand what conducting is. Well, no kidding.
You understand what conducting
No,
is.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What they're doing during the live performance, I have no idea the
They're
value of
keeping
that.
tempo.
They're keeping tempo. They're cueing in different parts of the
Organizing.
symphony orchestra.
But how many times have they rehearsed that? What's the necessity of him during the live performance?
Very
That's
little.
That's fair. That's fair. I know what a conductor does. During
Right,
the day.
I just told you know what a conductor
Yeah,
does.
but during the day.
Very good.
Stop trying to trick me, like Andrew. I don't like that.
I'm just gonna say
I know.
we're
Do we
going
want to
back
do
there
this right
earlier.
now? I don't want to put you in a bad spot.
Now I'm freaking myself
All
out.
right,
enough.
let's not do this then.
I'm with Fred. During the performance.
Yes.
But I do know what I'm saying. I understand during the day, like when he's working with the orchestra, what they do. But during the performance, and especially the 16th Holiday Pops one, it's
You
a
need
lot of
it there.
pop.
It's the you drive every day, but you need the emergency brake just in case. That's really the best
So what's he
analogy I
gonna
can come
do?
up with for a conductor.
He's
during
going to
the
do
performance.
3 minutes to stand up?
If something goes right, if
He's
something
going to
goes
pick up
wrong,
the French horn and just start
and
riffing?
someone that would actually rule. If someone like misses a cue, he's to get things back on track or something like that.
Well, you know what else they have to get back on track? The freaking sheet music that they all have in
Yeah,
front
but
of them.
that can be complicated too.
Or the oboe player
and that's
sitting
not to
next
take
to him.
anything away from these professional musicians who are, the best at what they do.
Oh, you can't do that. I mean, you really can't get on their bad
Whatever.
side.
I got to meet Keith
See, I
Lockhart. You
took-
guys can
Oh,
go
no,
pound
now we
sand.
got it. There's a French horn player on line, too, and he's steamed. You know, those French horn guys are in a union, and once they get together, they can cause problems. They all have email. Oh, boy.
Telling you,
Here's
dude.
one from the Franklin from Missouri Symphony Orchestra. This thing's going viral.
My day is shot.
Nick, you have done it this time. You put your foot in it, and now you got now the wind, now the
woodwind.
now the woodwinds are involved.
Yes, that's
If the percussionists get involved, I think we're gonna have to suspend you.
Those clarinet players take that very seriously.
Absolutely, Eric. Hello.
Hey, Fred. So I heard the break with Andrew, and it got me thinking.
2
how
weeks
can
in a
I
row.
help you?
Yeah, 2 weeks in
Oh,
a row. I can't. I
But
can't do
he's
this.
going to fix your brain. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So So my daughter, she's in first grade. So, we're working on just like basic addition and subtraction. She's having a little bit of a tough go. So, what do we do? How do we simplify it? Visualize some apples. You have 10 apples. So I think you should apply the same thing,
I'm a visual learner, you're saying.
So let's work it in. Let's work it into the last stat, right? So all of the teams in the NFL have an apple. The Patriots don't have an apple. Is that true, right? So if you apply this to these different scenarios, simplify it for yourself, I think it's going to let you slow down and take care of yourself, okay?
I think
and have your DC a little earlier in the day, probably.
No.
I'm down to 2.
I think you need to pick 3 people in your life. 2 people who are very honest and 1 person who lies. And then you pick one of the things that Andrew says and give it a face.
Oh.
And that you give it the face of the liar.
So if
I have some suggestions for you there.
The Patriots are the stop it. The Patriots are the only team not to have played inside. Is that a lie?
Now imagine a certain person who lies a lot saying that out loud.
No. But I'm going through the logic. Just give me 10 seconds. So the Patriots are the only team that haven't played indoors. Oh, is that 2 stats? So that would be a correct stat. They have not played indoors because the other teams have played indoors. But you're picking out the lie. All right. I figured it out. I have done it.
If only we could name the segment something to clue you into that.
Eureka. Stop it, John. I don't like it when you're on top. I don't like it when you have a position of you become
I'm in
the
last
alpha.
place. What position of power do I have?
You become the alpha. The positions have changed, and now I'm on my knees. All right.
Like jiu-jitsu.
Like the ancient art of jiu-jitsu. That in a
There's a
solid
great-
half marathon, and your problems are out the window.
There's a great Andy Griffith episode about Barney learning jiu-jitsu.
Is it karate or jiu-jitsu?
It's I think it's jiu-jitsu, and the villain in it is Sam the Butcher from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And he wants to fight Barney, and Barney's like, I can't fight you, jiu-jitsu, this will kill you. And meanwhile, Barney is, of course, secretly afraid. So what Andy does, spoiler if you haven't seen the episode, he gets the one Asian fellow who lives in Mayberry, who actually knows jiu-jitsu, to dress up in Barney's clothes late at night. And when Sam the Butcher comes up to attack him from behind, he doesn't know he's attacking the actual jiu-jitsu guy. He thinks he's attacking Barney.
Oh.
And this Mr. Miyagi of Mayberry beats the living hell. Beats the bag out of Sam the
Mr.
Butcher.
Miyagi of Mayberry.
And I'm guessing that the Asian guy in Mayberry's in a lot of other episodes after that.
No, how dare you.
He just becomes a part of what Mayberry's all about.
Yeah.
Oh, they just found him for one. Okay. Because they were doing a martial arts.
Mayberry, which didn't have a stoplight, but it had a jiu-jitsu studio.
Well, you know what they were doing? Smoking cigars. Bruce Lee's a big deal. How can we get him into the show? I don't know. Find some They don't say Asian. Find some Asian.
That's right.
And get him in here.
What would Don Rickles say?
All right. How are we going to get him? Look, he's the Dumbo, and he's a big puss. So what are we going to do? I don't know. Find an Asian fella. All right. Very good. We will be back in just a moment with the fantastic email.
got your finger on the pulse, Fred. Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can go to 98.5 The Sports Hub to find out how to email us. You can also follow us at Toucher and Hardy. Now the lights are on the whole show. That has been taken care of.
Awesome.
I don't mind him.
I don't mind him either. I didn't even notice until just now. But you can go at Toucher, because I was just thinking of the videos, at Toucher and Hardy, or at Fred Toucher, where John, my business is booming.
Oh, all right. What are we up to now?
Let's take a look. Let's go to professional dashboard and see what's going on.
The March to 25K.
I'm up 0.6% in the last month. November 3rd was a huge day for me. I got 60 followers.
1 month ago today.
But yesterday, it looks like, according to the graph, more unfollows than follows. They went up by a lot. In November, or the last couple of days, I'm getting a lot of unfollows. Boo!
So you're at 24,000 what?
What did you post?
Nothing. I haven't posted
Well, that's
anything.
the problem. Got to keep posting.
I'm at 24,198. I'm 2 away from the big 24-2.
So 802. That's what we need. That's the number. 802.
What, to get to Kendra?
25K. Right? That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you want it now?
Well,
now
Kendra's got 28,000, and apparently she's making a living from this thing. So let's get this
So that's
going.
the thing. You want to reach. You want to catch Kendra, not necessarily get to 20.
Well, I want those spoils that she's enjoying from from having these followers.
I watched a video of hers last night where she was making bacon vodka.
Yeah, I can't.
She put bacon fat in vodka and stored it, and then came back and ate it. It drank it rather.
Yeah, I mean, I drank I ate a thing of shoe polish, but I didn't tape it.
Huh.
It's a thing. I'll eat anything. You ever see the guy that chugs vodka? He got kicked off YouTube.
No.
He used to chug anything, and he used to chug like a big handle of vodka. And then they kicked him off YouTube. He turned out he was not well.
Really?
Yeah, that you never.
Turns out a big alcoholic.
When he was like the first YouTube star, and he's such a big star, I can't remember his name, but
Wait, Shoe Nice?
Shoe Nice, yeah.
Yes. Oh, dude, loved Shoe Nice.
Yeah,
On
Shoe
your
Nice.
Mark, get set. Shoe Nice.
And you know what was not fun is when they had the investigative reporter go out and like talk to Shoe Nice, just like the kid from the rap contest. Like all those early YouTube clips, the worst thing you can do is find the guy and talk to him, because you realize what a mess the guy is.
It was
and he's
sad.
like divorced and like, like me, no. But he's like neglectful father and like all this stuff. He doesn't have a job. Like, yeah, I mean, it ruins it.
Those early Shoe Nice videos were gold, though.
When he was chugging bottles of
everything.
like Jaeger, it was it was interesting. Bleeping out ass. Joe Buck just read a quote. This is from Patrick. Just read a quote from Jerry Judy that has the word ass in it. When he came up with the word, he whistled instead of said it. It's at 10:30 on a Monday night. I don't blame him. All they're doing is trying to keep out of trouble. And I'm sure if he said ass, that people would complain if they even do about it. Yeah. Someone would complain.
I have an email here from Dave Sullivan. Subject line, I hate Keith Lockhart.
Oh.
3 years in a row, he messed up Stars and Stripes Forever at the Pops 4th of July show. 3 years in a row. He has one job. Go through it twice, second time with the piccolo solo, then the dramatic build-up with the flag confetti on the downbeat. WTF, they messed it up.
Who does this guy think he is? Question Keith Lockhart.
Well,
who does this guy think he is?
He's saying he messed it up a couple of times.
You know what he needs to do? Go to the damn Holiday Pops. You'll have a change of heart. I can't believe.
Why?
Fred got to
What
do
do they
that.
mess up at Holiday Pops? The crack of the whip and sleigh ride?
You get to see Fred read "Twas the Night Before Christmas."
If they don't do the 12 Days of Christmas where they hold up the numbers, then you've gone to the wrong show.
Your kids were at that when you read that, right?
My kids, I take my children to the Holiday Pops every year.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite traditions.
And none of us enjoy it, but we go. And I don't know why I buy the tickets. They're expensive, and I take them. I'm actually, all four of us are going. Their mother, me, and them
Lovely.
are all going to the Holiday Pops. And I bought the tickets, and I organized it, and she wants to go, and they want to go, but none of us want to go, if you know what I'm saying. We're doing it out of almost like how you see Billy Joel. This is how people see Billy Joel, is that there is this inherent obligation to see Billy Joel. Yeah. We have this obligation to go to the Holiday Pops. It cost me like $1,000. So you're out of that.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Nick just had another stroke.
How much do you deserve to make, Nick? Go ahead.
Let's do a little Marcellus Wallace, Vincent Vega, Pulp Fiction thing here. Why don't you let me step in for you, and I'll take your ex and the kids to the Pops. How's that sound?
But you're a single man yourself.
Yeah.
So that could then you end up marrying my ex-wife, and you're the father of my children.
Yes, but if
you the producer of the show, you have too much control.
You're going to be like Tony Rocky Horror. You're going to get thrown through a glass roof of a garden.
Keep referencing Rocky Horror. That's the audience we're going after.
Tony Rocky Horror is a character from Pulp Fiction.
My bad. Sorry.
Yes.
That was me being stupid again. Go ahead.
That's it.
All right.
Okay.
He's Samoan. He's got a weight problem. What's the brother going to do?
I don't. You've seen that movie a lot. A friend of mine worked security for a music festival where Tool was playing. Maynard wanted to go listen to another band from the audience, so my friend was assigned to run interference for him in the crowd. That's. I mean, what could you expect? I want to watch this band from the crowd. Well, that's hard because you're playing the festival. Like, you understand? Like, I should be able to watch this band from the crowd. Oh, should you?
Maynard could put a hat on and go out into the crowd of a Tool show and get away with it.
No, he'd be the smallest hairless man there. So Maynard, in full disguise so people wouldn't recognize him, had my friend with him to make sure that if anyone did recognize him, they couldn't approach him.
Oh.
The dick part of this was my friend was not allowed to talk to Maynard at all during this experience. He was a huge fan of Tool at the time and didn't even get to say hi to Maynard, who ignored him the entire time they were in the crowd and never said a word to my friend. I mean, Maynard James Keenan is a guy. Here's the exception. So Maynard James Keenan is really intelligent and good at what he does, right?
Yeah.
Jelly Roll is just a guy. Here's how Jelly Roll made his career. He went to every radio station and every TV show and was cool.
Yep.
And radio, not podcast. He did those too, but went to radio stations and he was cool. He was nice. I can't make fun of Jelly Roll. He married a stripper that was like a prostitute. Like, they're lovely. Like, they seem like good people. He goes and visits the prison that he was in. He did this PR thing so people like him. Now, what Maynard James Keenan has done is he's actually created art that people appreciate, but he's such a dick that his legacy is going to be like he was this dick. And not even like kind of like Lou Reed. Like, people don't even, like, you read about Lou Reed and people like just hated him.
Yeah.
You know? So that's his problem to deal with.
The people that just took, I don't know how much effort it was on their part, and some days I'm sure it was a lot. But the people who were just nice when they came around for the radio stuff,
you remember them.
I'll give them a lifetime pass for their music or whatever decisions they make or something, because you just remember like that. Oh yeah, I really don't dig. I really don't dig that album necessarily, but Nickelback, Chad Kroeger.
Oh, I had my problems with him. So
I didn't have any problems with him. He couldn't.
He went around in a golf cart looking to find me to kick my ass because he realized after an interview I was making fun of him during the whole interview. I'll ask you this. Are the Foo Fighters the best rock band of the last 30 years in anyone's opinion?
No.
No, there's not a chance. The Foo Fighters are the biggest rock band of the last 30 years. And why is that? It's because Dave Grohl was great and super personable. And also, did the same thing. Went in. I don't get it.
He fathered a child out of wedlock recently. With a very young woman.
Oh, wow. A rock star had sex out of wedlock.
I know.
That's insane.
Scandalous.
I know. It really is. I mean, what do you think guys do on the road? Oh, I'm on the road 200 days a year with women, like, literally just offering themselves up to me every night. I think that maybe the 200th time you say yes. I'm assuming that it's a little bit. You go to some party and like women from the television are coming up to you begging to have sex with you.
Are you telling me they're attractive and younger than you?
Yeah, imagine
pretty
that.
much every single time.
Yeah, imagine actually indulging in that. Now, notice he didn't take Instagram photos with the woman.
Or put on a costume.
Yeah. And I have more respect for a guy that, listen, knocking up a chick, that's going to happen. I'm like, look. That just happens. That's part of the process.
That'd be another picture for Jordan. She's the groupie boarding Belichick's tour bus.
Much more respect for what Jordan has accomplished.
Fred, a lot of Giving Tuesday emails. I know how you love talking about this.
I love telling people about charities to donate to. There's nothing more I love than.
But this is the day. If there's ever a day, Fred,
virtualize virtue. Look at how much virtue I have.
Can I just tell you about the Veterans Golf Association, because it says golf and it immediately caught my eye.
Sure, why not? Because I'd be a real dick if I didn't.
John Fernandez sent me an email. It says, review this Veterans Golf Association. That's one just to look up on your own if you want to donate on this Giving Tuesday, along with one that we got here from Bridge Over Troubled Waters, which helps youth who are homeless.
Well, it helps Garfunkel. Because
right.
Lord knows things have not gone well since Simon left.
Yeah.
And I did thank you all for submitting to me your picks for Giving Tuesday. Folks can find each of those at 985thesportshub.com on the Toucher and Hardy page.
The thing about Adam is he lives his life 365 with this whole charitable
Every
angle.
Tuesday
so
is
that
Giving Tuesday.
Every Tuesday is Giving Tuesday to him. So I give him a pass. I am not a fan of I think a lot of people want the credit for the charity. So and that would be someone like me. So people like me shouldn't be out there.
Period.
Just talking. Yeah, we really shouldn't have access to anything.
Stop.
I feel it would be fake virtue if I went in and started talking about all these things.
That Garfunkel, you know what? He screwed something up for me so badly, as did Paul Simon, who I think sneaky might be a huge dick. Because I read his book, and, well, he lies about a couple of things in there, which I won't get into the minutia of. But he mentions the concert in Central Park, the big Simon and Garfunkel double album. Art Garfunkel, not pleased with his vocals that night because he had a bit of a cold, so he went back in and re-recorded, overdubbed his vocals for the album version on a bunch of the songs. I said, well, this isn't a live album anymore.
Well, is Kiss Alive a live album? Because it's a studio where they pumped in crowd noise. Like live albums. No, but none of them are. They all went over their parts. Like I find a live album from the 70s or 80s that's actually live.
I think, I even think the Who live at Leeds. I think there's
some dubs on it.
Peter Frampton comes alive. You're telling me that's fake?
I mean, it would really hurt the Frampton legacy because Eddie Trunk is like, get this guy in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I think it happened. I think he got his wish, didn't
he? A trip called Quest, or Quest, or whatever he called it. He couldn't say a tribe called Quest. He couldn't pronounce tribe. It was tribe or Quest that he couldn't pronounce.
Tribe.
And Eddie Trunk is this self-set. I stopped listening to him because I can't take it anymore. It's not funny anymore to me, but he is that self-satisfied like laugh, like like when he can't believe something. Like you're not really laughing. And how outraged can you be about there not being a rock band playing the Super Bowl halftime show? He's like, oh, there's no one to choose from. As like someone, you know, like there's a guy who like won't hire gay people or something. Like, you know, like he's like acting like rock is like some, like if you're in a rock band, you're this special interest that needs to be served. Why aren't they playing the Super Bowl halftime show? Because they're not. Because they're not. Because they didn't want them.
How many hours does he have to fill? How long is the show?
I don't know, 2. Not that long.
Yeah.
All right. But long enough for me to keep talking about him. All right. We'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
with FanDuel. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app is something that they should pimp more. It's very effective. It's way better
100%.
than the big, like the big, huge corporation ones. Those are horrible. Yeah. Like, I can't navigate those. Like, if I try to listen to WFAN or The Ticket in Detroit.
Good luck.
I mean, it's a real problem. No. Sometimes it's never-ending commercials. Like, obviously there's a glitch in the system where they're not giving you the broadcast. Or it's the broadcast from, like, way before. And by the way, WFAN, get some talent on Sunday mornings. It's a big sports radio morning. You're half-stepping with this talent on it in the mornings. Let's go. All right. Because 98.5 The Sports Hub app works well for me, and I use it a lot. So go ahead.
One music story I wanted to get to earlier but didn't. Sick New World, which is a festival maybe you haven't heard of. It was going to be the third one in Las Vegas this year. It was a new metal extravaganza, and they would get 50, 60 bands. They were selling this thing out, 60,000 people, 3 days in a row. They tried something new for 2025, and it fell flat on its face and has now been canceled. Do you know why? They added to the bill Metallica and Linkin Park. They thought, this will guarantee we're going to sell this thing out. It backfired on them. The new metal fans who were there to see Mudvayne and whatever incarnation of System of a Down and Godsmack and whatever else they
Linkin
put up
Park
there.
would fit in that, wouldn't they? They were sort of new metal-y.
Except it's not Chester anymore, and I think some people are still a little lukewarm on
Well,
them
Chester's
touring.
family is his son or it was his son or his daughter, I can't remember, and his ex-wife or the mother of his children have a big problem with it.
So it was supposed to take...
I wouldn't see, like, if I was a Linkin Park fan, I wouldn't want to see them with a new singer. Like,
No.
the singer is like a big deal.
Yes. But other bands on the bill, Queens of the Stone Age, Evanescence, Ministry, 311, 3 Days Grace, Down, Mudvayne, Machine Head. And again, they had sold this thing out year after year. They said combination of two factors, high ticket prices, $472 for general admission.
Yeah, that's the audience that's going to be able to pony that up.
And
you try like Billy Joel and Elton John. Those are the guys that can pay that.
why were they charging $472? Because Metallica and Linkin Park were both set to earn $5 million for their festival appearances, that's a good sum of money for like a private show. But for, I just got a headline. I just got to come to a concert. Yeah, Metallica and Linkin Park were both going to make $5 million. They can't cover the cost. It's been canceled.
Well, it's funny because my daughter, I wanted to take her on a trip. I know what I'm going to do now, but I wanted for Christmas to give her a trip to see like one of her favorite artists play. And so Tyler, the Creator's playing here next year. It's $1,000 to go for the both of us. But I looked at like the other people she likes, like Travis Scott and Drake and like all this. And they'll have like one gig, and it's a festival scheduled for next summer, which I'm not taking my daughter to. Like some festival in Denmark or something, because they're getting paid $3 million, so
Right.
they'll do a one-off show.
Yeah.
But they don't want to tour around with it and take the expense. So, yeah, I don't know why people like going to festivals. I never did. I liked it when I worked them because we had our own
You got your own area to
Winnebago.
hang, and like you get your own food.
And you're for sure getting laid. Like, there's no question you're getting laid. Like, if you were broadcasting from a festival as a single man at a radio station and you couldn't get laid, I got news for you.
You were doing it wrong.
You were. I mean, just the idea of a backstage. There was no negotiation or anything. But if you met someone you liked and you gave them access, like we used to have Music Midtown, 100,000 people to see Creed. Oof. Most people I've ever stood in front of have a picture of it. I mean, just the idea of like going out, seeing a hot chick, going, hey, you want to come backstage? And then just taking them out of a crowd of 100,000 people and then into an area with like 20. I mean, the power of that is like, and then, great memories of those festivals, but they'll never be duplicated.
All right, one more thing to get to here, Fred. Season 5 episode of Seinfeld called The Wife featured
Courtney Cox,
George Costanza getting kicked out of his health club. Do you remember why?
He peed in the shower.
Peed in the shower. CNN recently published an article where they contacted several urologists that said nothing wrong with what George Costanza did.
Why?
No downside. It's just convenient for some people. Dr. Karen Eilber.
Yes.
said-
Code name Karen, you are for you.
She said
on the dark web.
Contrary to claims of urinating in the shower being unhealthy, I think it's very healthy.
That's right. That's why you sell it to me.
And it's wrong to think it's unhygienic because you're standing in a pool of someone else's urine.
Of course. Wait, what? It's not dirty?
No, most of the running water washes the urine away. And she said, I wouldn't worry about getting an infection from someone urinating in public bathing areas as much as any mold or fungus that you're stepping in.
Yeah. You got to roll around in that stuff.
So the question...
Have them step on your face with dirty shower shoes. Huh?
The drain pipes for the shower are tied together before they even leave your
they're
house.
hard to separate because to get your mouth on.
And that George was totally right. The water all goes in the same place.
I can't. I've never peed in the shower, to my knowledge, and I can't pee in a body of water. I'm afraid of that there's something about the feeling of it, of opening myself and allowing the water in. I have in my.
The opening is already there.
But it's closed.
No, it's not. You have a flap.
Gills.
You have a gill over your urethra?
I got a whole thing down there. I got a festival.
So you're not
I haven't showed you.
You're not taking
How long have you been on the show? And I haven't showed you my penis?
Yeah, it only took Zoe like a week.
Yeah, Zoe got over
15
that
years
quick.
ago.
Yeah,
Those were
15
the
years
early
ago.
days.
Those
Oh,
were the
yeah.
early days.
Zoe used to walk right in with his pants off.
Well,
I
I mean, he
remember
would
that.
just have his balls out.
Yeah.
But that now
Right.
is not going to happen. That is
No.
That is no longer. And I miss it, quite frankly. See snowflakes. They don't want to see balls. You come into a workplace, you should be able to see balls. This is a creative space. This isn't an accounting firm.
What, no beanbag? I'm out of here.
I gladly show my balls. It's my penis that I have the issue with. I'm afraid that I'll be made fun of.
You're in a safe space.
Mm.
You show us.
Stop asking me for pictures. Yeah.
Well, show us.
All right, keep that tape. Might have to use it in court.